And here we are.
Wow.
Live. W8TP. You've tuned in to the right place at the right time. Because do we have a show for you? No, I'm seriously, I'm asking. Do we have a show for people, Adam? Is there...
All I got are these blank slips of paper and mucks.
You didn't write a script? I didn't get
the script. I got nothing.
Producer Chris, did you write a script? You were kind of in charge of the script this week. I don't know if you knew that.
How dare you?
Who's that at the door?
All right. So Adam's back from his adventures in Hawaii.
Okalakamiki.
Welcome back from that. What did you do? What was the highlight of your trip? Obviously, you were filming a horror movie, but you had some off time too. You got to have a little bit of fun.
I did. I mean, just looking around is the best thing. I've never been there before, and it is quite a thing to behold. It definitely slows you down, and I didn't want to leave.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm. Because it's a long flight.
No, because I hate my life back here, so I wanted to go back there where everything's sunny and yeah.
A written asylum says, Adam, you were fantastic on BYB. We're going to be talking about that today.
Okay, good.
We will be discussing that for sure. Longrod, whoa.
Von Hugendong.
Oh, right. I'm sorry, Mr. Von Hugendong. Fuck yeah. Remember for 7 months. Thank you very much. We appreciate you very much. You know, there are people who are recognizing that super tips are on right now. Supertip.gg/WATP. And when I say people, I mean people like Rob Saul.
Oh.
With his Rob Saul $3. But also Koof is here.
I got a confession to make. I voted for Joe Biden and Kamala Harris. Also, I eat poop and am a homosexual. Thank you for not killing yourselves. See you at Hackamania.
See you at Hackamania, Dick Masterson. Adam Busch, we'll see you at Hackamania.
I'll be there.
Oh, this is all very exciting. Messaging with the guys. The streaming services, I believe, are on sale now. You can go and order the stream. If you're not going to be in Vegas, which is crazy, but if you're not, you can stream the shows. Use the promo code WATP. It helps us out. And it saves you 10% when you sign up for it.
If I wanted to get a VIP ticket, how would I go about that?
Oh, they are sold the fuck out.
Get the unbelievable.
Yep, you're too slow. Too late for that, Mr. Busch. You know what I'm just realizing right now? We have a guy on the wall that's on the floor, I think.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh, yeah, right there. All right. Velcro works great, but you got to stick the Velcro to the wall with something, which is still just like tape. You know?
Yes.
So there's a flaw there. We've been improving the studio, but there's still...
I'm just going to hand draw everything moving forward.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Yeah. Can't fall down.
Wouldn't it be funny if we just like do green screens of exactly what's behind the green screen?
What's supposed to be there?
Yeah, it just makes it easier.
It makes it hard to make fun of Opie when things are being held up by tape. That's supposed to be his bit.
It's Velcro, I said. It's Velcro.
Yeah, Vinny turned us on to the Velcro. For the most part, it's been pretty successful.
All right. Do I want to call out the bitch boy of the week? What are we doing?
I don't think so. I think you'd want to.
I think that was a bad move.
Hold back.
Maybe we should retire that.
Was there blowback?
A little bit.
Please, Carl, don't hurt him.
Bitch boy of the week.
It might be time to retire that bit. People didn't seem to enjoy it.
Yeah, people used to enjoy pylons a lot more.
I was very wrong with that. Bitch boy of the week, and I really stepped in it, as they say. And boy, did Aaron Imholt light me up for it. We caught this little piggy. But Aaron he talks about other people's fan fiction. He created a whole fucking narrative around that. Oh, no one likes Carl's show anymore because he doesn't talk about Cedric John and they're over it. And this guy's like, fuck you. I don't want to pay for your stupid show. It's like, none of that happened. It was,
And now Carl's crying.
yeah, right. Yeah. I was throwing a fit.
A tantrum like a child who didn't get a toy.
Or didn't get the cereal they wanted.
Cereal.
aisle,
or
right,
nap.
Yeah. It's like, wow. Oh, that happened? So as much as I dislike watching myself, I had to force Moody to watch what Aaron was describing because he was completely off on the whole thing, it turned out. I know.
Really?
I know, right?
I thought he was a newsman.
Normally he gets it right, but on this one occasion it didn't work out. Lawyers, Guns, and Money on supertip.gg/WATP.
My master Sauron the Great bids thee welcome. Is there any in this route with authority to treat with me?
Sure.
It's very fancy. Hughesy's heinous goutfoot, formerly Dame Taft. I do not like Dame Taft, and I have to look at Hughesy's foot. Your avatar. Adam Busch, you tickle me.
By choice, because I want to.
Rick from NY says, please no bitch boy of the week. You got it, Rick. You got it, buddy.
We're taking requests.
Yeah, unless you have someone you think should be the bitch boy of the week. I won't even research it. I'll just put them on blast.
Oh, yeah, you got their address? Let's just get it out there.
Mother's maiden name, first pet, street they grew up on. We got it all over here, baby. You know, some people like just dip their toe into doxing. Not me. I'm diving head first into the deep end of the dox pool. That's what people love about me. That's why I'm praised on all the subreddits. Anonymous coming in. Adam, are those Burberry frames?
Good question.
All right.
Nope.
Good answer.
There you go. I mean, it was eating all of us up. So
It was a
about time.
fun back and forth we had, though.
About time we got to the bottom of it. I feel good about that. All right. Should we get the show started? We got a lot to discuss today, right?
Mm-hmm.
But thank you guys for being here, for chatting, for supporting. Lots of opportunities to continue to chat and support throughout the program. As you know, you guys know how this shit goes. I'm going to put up this thing, and then we're going to get the show started.
You see, this is a we just do it kind of show.
It's just rambling nonsense.
Can you leave me alone?
Episode
615. Sorry, Carl.
Are you a boner guy?
Oh, I was a boner guy.
You know what? I miss penis.
What are you talking about?
I'm the one who should apologize.
Is it going to be absolutely riveting? Is it going to change your life by any stretch? Probably not, but it's going to be at least entertaining, okay?
By the way, for those people that are in the back, remember to shut the fuck up.
Shut the fuck up, asswipe, and suck my cock.
I've been dying to say that.
Cuz-a-roo. Slap-a-rooney.
It's showtime.
WATP.
WATP.
Hello, Rubber Dixon Cousin. Welcome to another episode of Who Are These Podcasts, the only show that doxes anyone and everyone who even thinks about not praising this program. I'm your host, Carl. With me today, a man who we refer to as the Hump Day Kid. Adam Busch is with us. What's up, Adam?
So happy to be back, bridging gaps and making friends everywhere I go.
I noticed that. Poor Adam's now doing shows where he has to respond on my behalf, which is
not just your behalf, but it goes on and on. I'm responsible.
Apparently, yeah. So producer Chris is here as well.
Hello.
Welcome, Chris. Please go to whoarethese.com. That's where you get our email address, the voicemail number, the link to our subreddit, the link to our Discord server, the link to our merchandise, the link to our YouTube channel, and that link to Patreon and Supercast featuring 2 exclusive bonus episodes every single month. You can also sign up on this YouTube channel if you want to become a member or gift memberships. We just did a bonus show yesterday. I did a crossover with Dick Masterson, and we reviewed the Fab Fatties. That was an interesting show. These are 3 women who get together once a week and just tell you that they went for a 5-minute walk during their lunch break.
Oh.
It's crazy how self-centered these women were, especially considering how deep their center must be.
I was going to say.
How many licks does it take?
There's a lot of core there.
Yeah. These are very, very big women. And then we also checked out the Fierce Fatty again, a woman that we've talked about on this show a few times.
Yeah.
So that's a lot of fun. You get that on the bonus material. That was our second bonus show already of this month. And patreon.com/whoarethespodcasts is the best place to go to get that, because you get the entire back catalog of all the bonus shows we've ever done and the RSS feed if you want to hook it up with your podcast player and just get all the shows. When I do Drew's show on Tuesdays. I put that out as audio only. When we do Point Dabble Point on this channel, when we do This Little Piggy on this channel, all of that shows up in your Patreon feed. So you get all of that stuff that you can listen to. And speaking of Dick Masterson, it is official. We're live in Boston, June 21st. Tickets will go on sale this Friday morning, 10 a.m. Eastern Time, WATPlive.com. You can buy them right now if you're a vinylophile. I thought it was a vinophile, and I was offended for my buddy for a second, but no. Apparently, because we're playing at the City Winery.
Ooh, I get it.
The City Winery has a mailing address group or something that you sign up for. You become a vinylophile, and then you can purchase tickets early. So if you want to go to WATPlive.com, there is some way to sign up for something and then purchase your tickets for that. This will sell out. This is Dick's last show. So I know the Dickheads will be coming out in full force. I hope that the WATP listeners represent in Boston. We've been talking about Boston for a couple of years now. Gotten a lot of notes. People are excited about that. So please come out and see us June 21st. But before that, Hackamania. May 9th through 11th, we will be in Las Vegas with all the other podcasters doing all these live shows and hanging out. It's going to be a great time. Hackamania.com, promo code WATP for 10% off. And if you can't make it to Vegas, you can now purchase the stream. So if you want to watch the shows, we'll be streaming all of those live from Hackamania. Use the promo code WATP. That would help us out a ton, and it'll save you 10% on the streams. Please do that. Also, we encourage our listeners, give us 5 stars wherever you review podcasts, and then shit all over us in the comment section. Today, we'll be talking about a podcast in a crowded elevator, Tim Dillon on the Joe Rogan Experience, Kevin Brennan and Chad Zumock having a falling out again. These two just on again, off again. Can't keep up with them. We got Opie's latest live stream with Ron the Waiter, another 2 minutes with Tom from Cardiff. But first, Adam Busch was on with the Quadfather and the Backyard Boys podcast, BYB. And I want to start there. You went on their show Monday night?
I did. Is that what it stands for, Backyard Boys? I didn't know that.
I believe so, yeah.
Okay. You know, if you search BYB podcast, nothing comes up.
I'm not surprised.
Okay.
Doesn't seem like they have a lot of SEO experts running that network.
I'm a subscriber, and I was surprised how hard it was to find.
Well, I want to start off with the first clip that you sent over to me.
Okay.
Do you have any setup for this you want to go through?
What do you think Quadfather is asking me here?
All
right. What do you think Quadfather is asking?
Ooh, the game came early.
Mr.
Survey says.
It cuts so close to like all that stuff. It's hard to talk about subjects like that, and it's definitely hard to make jokes about it. I love throwing that stuff at the Shuli Network just because it's whatever. There's a good reason to, and whatever.
What's the good reason?
Not that we would. Just to make it a little bit more lighthearted, the fact that happened here in the Dabbleverse and whatever.
You just said you hate hearing it, and you hate it coming up, and you hate it even being mentioned. So why would you bring it up in any context?
Yes. Well, I mean, in reality, the only situation we've had like that is on the Shuli Network. So throwing it at him when I do think, I'll just flat out ask you, do you think that Shuli knew more than he's letting on now? I know you work with him a lot, so it's probably a shitty question, but I'm going to throw it at you.
So I just pause it real quick. I'm going to let that answer play out. And basically what happened was they did this segue from the Dan Snyder Nickelodeon stuff right into ESO Doe talk. And you could tell Quadfather's just like, I hate this whole subject. It's gross. I don't want to give it any air. But then he's just like, but I do love trash and Shuli for this. So then the question goes over to Adam.
We do the hard-hitting questions over here, BYB, as you probably don't know. But yeah, what do you think? Do you think Shuli comes off genuine when he tells about not knowing anything about the ISO situation, believing what ISO told him about the situation when he was arrested the day after DabbleCon?
I don't think he knew about anything in advance. And I think he came forward with information as soon as he had it. I don't think you can say, as someone who's worked with monsters, you can say that anyone can. I knew in advance. I could tell from the look at him. Sometimes you do, right? Sometimes you get an eerie feeling from a stranger. Sometimes dogs know. And other times it's the exact opposite. And no one gets to say that it's going to be one way. And if it happened in my world, I would come out with it as soon as possible, get rid of the person, acknowledge it, own it, and then try and move on from it. And that's, to an extent, what Shuli did. I didn't like when it kept coming up. I didn't like it being used as a weapon. I didn't like bad jokes about it. I don't mind good jokes about it, but who's the arbiter of that, right? Yeah.
For sure.
Outside of that, what is he supposed to do? Like, what is he supposed to do?
Yeah, and mainly it was just the timing of everything after the.
There are plenty of reasons that are real and genuine to not like Shuli Agar. It doesn't have to be that. And if you don't like hearing that and bringing it up, then I wouldn't.
No, I mean, I always
well said, yes.
like to see if I can get to. I asked Bob Levy the same questions.
Oh, okay. Well, that's why
I didn't know that.
Up.
Okay.
What am I going to ask Adam? Well, I got to ask him the same stuff I asked Bob, obviously, even though I don't want to even approach the subject. You were on for a long time with these fellas.
Yeah, that's probably my own issue I have going on. That's I'm working through some things.
What was your takeaway from this? What did you learn?
I like the Dabbleverse, and I like the idea of a new show covering the Dabbleverse. You know, I don't know if this is it. It feels like a political show that has a party line and has no idea that any other people might not be completely writing off groups of people or people as a whole. Sometimes it's just issue by issue. And it's interesting to see him try and scramble around to come up with reasons why he doesn't like people. Because when he's not allowed to just say, I just don't like them or I don't like this, when it comes down to an issue, there's like nothing there outside of like, well, the timing and the tone and the delivery. Okay. Well, it says many times throughout the show that he didn't have the best delivery here or he didn't have the best timing here. And that's, quickly forgivable. But in other people, I guess it's not.
These are people who read subreddits too much.
I'm probably one of those people too. I think I fall under that category.
Okay, fair enough. But you can kind of tell from they're coming at it with like, well, everyone knows like Shuli knew and he was a real scumbag. You're like, why would that be the case?
Yeah.
Why would you even think that? It'd be a crazy thing for Shuli to do, to try to cover that up, knowing it was going to come out. Especially with all of the people who are always looking into everything that he's up to. We have these PIs who are trying to dig into everything that's going on. I think want to be the first one to get it out there and get out in front of it. So let's lighten up the conversation here. This is where you're telling a story about Patrice O'Neal. I didn't realize you guys had a relationship, you and Patrice.
Yeah, we worked together on a Fox show about a jury, and we were kind of paired as a team. I was the jury foreman, and he was the bailiff.
That's amazing.
It was amazing.
So this is a conversation. I guess Patrice used to go down to Brazil to a brothel.
He did every year. He would live there for a couple months.
Okay. And maybe our boy Adam could have made the trip with him.
If we got one more season, because he would always ask me to go with him to this brothel in Brazil that he would like live at for 3 months of the year, and the women would send him videos on his little phone, and before an iPhone, they would just send him videos, and he'd pick it up, and it'd be them, moaning to him in Spanish, and he'd let us all hear it, and he kept asking me to go. I gotta go. I said, I didn't have the money at the time, even though I was on this gig. But I was like, if we get a season 2, I can afford it. I'll go with you to Brazil. And then we never got a season 2, and I never got to go to the brothel with Patrice, and I always regretted it.
Well, that makes me want to ask you a bunch of questions, but I guess I won't probably go there specifically. That's you would go there.
He's getting real uncomfortable all of a sudden. He's like, oh, you're going to a brothel with Patrice.
Starting to think that's his interview style.
Yeah, I got a lot of questions that I will not ask you based on that. This is the no follow-up questions show. But actually, the reason why he's squirming here is because he's like, you would travel with a black man? No, I'm just kidding.
Well,
That's not what it was. He's going to imply something here and then immediately get off that subject.
Typically, yeah, like that's you would go there just to hang out, or what's I don't know. That kind of boggles my mind to think of you going down to hang out in a Brazil brothel. Honestly,
Why is that?
I love that question.
Actually, Adam's asking the hard-hitting questions here.
What do you mean by that? Why would you want to go to a place where there's like hot chicks who will have sex for money? Like, what would be the purpose that you would do something like that? I don't know, Claude. Why do you think I'd want to do something like that? So I think he's implying that you're gay.
What?
I think so. But watch as he gets real flustered by your follow-up question here.
I just it's like a high class 5-star resort in Brazil. I'm just trying to picture what this looks like.
I have
so that's to say, like, I don't know, maybe be expensive. I don't know.
So now you're a poor gay.
That was hilarious.
He holds such, intense party lines. I don't understand why he's so flustered. Why can't he just ask me? He's actually going like, he's like pulling up his collar like it's getting hotter in there. What is the big deal? Just ask me. What?
Yeah.
He's acting like it's the 50s and we have to speak in code. Like,
you're not one of them? Are you sure about that? If you say so. All right. So this is a clip that you sent me a while after this that kind of goes along with this clip. All right. Anything you want to do to set this one up?
No, I think it speaks for itself.
All right.
No, don't do it.
What do you think that is if it's not wine? What is that?
A butthole? I don't fucking know, man. Does he wear
He's a lot of ass.
I get it.
Just tons of ass.
It's funny.
Is that the great Jody B has joined the show at this point? Is that what we're seeing on here?
Correct. He jumped on in and then jumped out real fast.
Okay, and they're showing Opie, and of course the discussion around Opie is what is going on with Opie's mouth.
No, man. Does he wear
He's a lot of ass.
I get it.
Just tons of ass.
It's funny because we've on WATP reviewed a lot of gay shows, trans shows, and no one talks about gay sex more than BYB.
He specializes.
No, it's true though.
Yeah.
We talk about all the taboo subjects here at BYB.
Yeah, but that one a lot. Listen to your own intro of the show. Go back and listen to it. There's no other. It's just that.
Oh no!
Go around the horn.
I have been accused of this before in the past.
Okay.
Yeah, you seem to be thinking about it a lot, about yourself, about others. It seems to be on your mind. What's up?
A lot of gay sex talk coming up, but they couldn't just come out and ask you a straightforward question on that. Why is that?
I want to know. He seems very he seems to have an emotional tie to it. And in the intro
I
of
think
his
they like
show,
you.
I'm flattered and a little curious. I'm a lot of things. They went on this whole rant at the beginning of the show about, butts and dicks and then moved into their show, and he's like, we talk about lots of sexual stuff. No, you don't. You don't talk about women at all. It never comes up. Only when you're like, why would you want to go to a brothel to do what there? What would you even do? Is there good restaurants? Yeah. And he does tell a story about his father taking him to the Mustang Ranch to sit in the parking lot and look at the sign for a little bit and then drive away. I asked him if he thought it had any impact on him, and he said, nope.
Okay, that's funny. I'll never forget when he was on Stuttering John's show. He's a regular on there. And he came on and said that there was sorry, John, I couldn't be here earlier. There was a woman over at my house. John's like, oh, what's going on with that? Like trying to be like, oh, it's a sexy time. He's like, no, she's the woman that cleans my asshole out. Yeah. Gives me a shower, bathes me. I have to have routine maintenance.
He's like,
it's like,
keep talking.
Cleaned your asshole out.
So she's into anal?
Yeah, right.
That was my next question.
All right. This next clip, they're talking about the doxing incident. Again, This is someone who's on Reddit a lot who would talk about this. It's a bigger deal to everyone but the person who I doxed, who I've been in communication with. didn't seem as concerned about it. But
they are
everyone else
defending
is-
his honor, and they hit me 3 different times. Like they would move on to a subject and they'd go back to this. 3 different times I had to, get into the minutia of this until he had no facts left and was just running on feelings.
Yeah, I'm sorry I put you through this, Adam.
It's not your fault.
Feel
I'm
responsible for this.
happy to be an ambassador.
On this one, that Carl was kind of douchey about the whole situation. Whatever. He was just probably having fun with it, or it didn't seem like he was having fun with it.
Jesus, make up your mind, Quad. Pick a lane.
I guess that's not really a question, but it is kind of a question, Adam. What do you see the dichotomy though? Like how Carl's trying to spin it, like it was not that way, but it did seem to come off that way to me when we watched it.
Well, no, I mean, as we said before, I think he thought he did come in hot and unnecessarily hot. And I think the person was talking about the interface of the website, and I think he thought they were talking about the content. And I could see somebody being like, really? You're a fan of the Dabbleverse and Stuttering John, and you heard those tapes and you're not satisfied? Like, that's strange. I don't know what you were looking for, because it was everything you could ever want and definitely worth the money. But the first day was rough with the dealing with that website.
Right.
I experienced it. Other people experienced it. And when I said to Carl, hey, I think he's not talking about the Kate tapes. I think he's talking, and that you guys are together. I think he's talking about just the difficulty with the website. He said, oh, okay. Yeah, you might be right. And then I backed off a little bit.
And that happened after the show, or did that happen during
it's in the beginning of the show when this stuff came up. Because I missed the doxing, but I caught what the guy was saying. And I was like, oh, if the guy had issues on the first day, that's fair. And
I like that Quad's just like, that's weird. In that thread I was reading on that subreddit, no one brought that part up at all. And they were just really upset about Carl spelling a name on the internet.
Yeah, and he talks about people towing a party line, and he's the one who aired the parts of the clip that didn't have that in it. He just took it out. So he either didn't see it or didn't want to. I said that to him, and he wasn't like, go fuck yourself, you're blocked. He said, oh, yeah, you might be right. I hope you are. Because he was, I think, hurt by that. And then when he heard there was a way out, he wasn't doubling down on the bad thing. He was glad there was an alternative to what's happening here, which it might be. I don't know. He'll have to speak up. But it's never necessary to say anybody's name.
Yeah, exactly. I guess that is the main point of all of this stuff is never say the dude's name, even if they're the way he went about it was wrong. And Carl does explain that in this clip that, he should have just sent me a private email like everybody else did. But this guy went about it the different way. He tried to have his credit card deny the charges. Yeah, so whatever. He went about it in the incorrect way, I guess, unless...
Well, like you said, coming in hot with an opinion, which it's okay to change as facts develop. I don't know. That's not a negative. I don't think that's a sign of weakness. I think it's a sign of strength.
Fair enough.
I'm talking about you, Quad. Do you understand? I'm talking about you. You got right up to that point. You're like, I guess, okay, he should apologize, which he did, and take responsibility, which he did, but, and he doesn't know what to do. He's like stuck in this moment. He's like, what does a person do once they get there? They say, all right, and I'll change my mind and move on. That's it. Yeah, you can do it. I believe in you.
It's not that difficult. Definitely a learning experience for me, but apparently, no, I'm a pariah. But thank you for having my back. You don't ever have to defend me in anything that I do.
Oh, I still threw you under the bus, but I was happy to pick up the pieces.
You did a little bit. Okay, there's a few clips you sent me. I'm not going to play all of them, but I do want to discuss them, things that happened on the show. One of them that I thought was very interesting, but it takes a while to play out, is there's a question, a chatter asks a question about Carl's obsession with normalizing Missy B's Twitter.
Right.
And so they're like, Adam, what do you think about that? Carl is platforming Missy B, who writes all this crazy stuff that's anti-Semitic on Twitter. And so you were saying like, well, does Carl like endorse those views or do they discuss her Twitter? And they're like, no, not that I've ever heard. And you had a brilliant point at the end of that because Derek, Quadfather, is a Proud Boy, or at least is a fan of the Proud Boys. She's like, well, does me being on this show mean that I'm a Proud Boy? Like, how does that just being on someone's show does not mean that you agree with everything that they think and everything that they write. That'd be a crazy way to live your life.
And it was nice when I said that to see every head that was in that little Zoom go just wilt at the same time. Like, oh, yeah, okay, yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense.
And then he goes on after that to talk about how when he was on with Stuttering John, back when he was the co-host of the Stuttering John show, we all remember that era of John, of course. He was sending coded messages to Missy B, like saying certain things that I guess Missy B would understand, but John wouldn't. And do you want to talk about that back and forth you had with him at all?
Yeah, I don't know what the fuck he was talking about. When Missy B comes up, he starts to ramble a little bit and say a lot of things. There's apparently a lot of history between them. He had the same reaction when my sexuality came up. He just started hemming and hawing and talking about, well, her Twitter is back, because I follow it, and if you follow her, then you'll see that she's back, because it's only the people that follow her that are just listening to him, talk about your obsession with Missy B. He seems to have a lot of feelings about it and wants me to answer to anything she's ever done. And I told him I was a fan of the things she said on Point Dabble Point, so I followed her and everyone on that episode. And like 2 weeks later, she had posted something on X, and I remember seeing it and being like, "Oh, not for me. Unfollow that."
Right?
It wasn't even a question. It was like, "Yep, done." That's absolutely. And I will still talk. I think I've already done shows with her since then. Like, I respect her opinion on these matters that we agree on. And Quad, you and I agree on these matters too when it comes to Stuttering John. It just changes when it gets to certain people.
So then he tries to ambush you because you have made some comments about his show, BYB. So he thinks he's got a gotcha moment here. But you do a good job of getting out in front of it. I'm going to let this play out here.
But you did say you watched every week, and I forget exactly how you put it, but it wasn't very nice. You said,
"Oh no, I probably said I tune in every week and I want it to be good, but it feels very slow and unfocused."
And yeah, you say you're always waiting for it to be better, and it never is. That's I think exactly. Yeah, exactly.
It's similar with Bob Levy. I love Bob Levy too, and I tune in and I'm like, when is this show going to start? It's been 45 minutes. What the fuck is happening? But I'll write him, when is the show going to start? And he always has a positive reaction. So I appreciate that. He's not like, go fuck yourself, you're blocked.
Fair criticism. And
all right.
I love that. He's like, by the way, you said some shit about my show. Yeah, it's because you never get to anything. And you just ramble. He's like, yeah, I guess that's true.
Right, got us there. Moving on.
Fair enough. That was very funny.
Quadfather says everything in a slow and unfocused way.
Right. That's what the show is. I didn't see the other co-hosts chiming in very much. It seemed like it was just you and Quad for the most part having these conversations.
At one point, King Dungelberg, I don't know, he said something like, "Were you on Buffy the Vampire Slayer?" And I said, "Yeah." And he said, "That's awesome."
I have that.
Cool.
Do you want to play that real quick?
I mean, it's just what I just said.
Yeah, but it's
that was a hard-hitting interview.
It's still kind of fun, though. Let's watch that.
That to me.
Well, and plus, hey, man, your time on Buffy the Vampire Slayer, that's pretty huge, ain't it?
That was fun, yeah.
Yeah, cool.
That was also in the Beatles.
Remember when you were on television? Yeah. That's cool.
That's cool.
That's pretty cool.
Good talk.
Cool, man.
I think I agree with that.
They're all nice fellas. They're all, you know, give the appearance of open-mindedness. Quad will listen to anything, and he seems open to hearing it and positive to receive it. There just seems to be a disconnect between actually like internalizing it and moving on.
Well, this next one, he describes the type of show that we put on, and you give a little bit of pushback here.
And, I do understand the way the WATP does it. It's all very scripted. It's very produced, highly scripted. And they boom, 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 boom. If you get off script at all with Carl on his show, I can see he does not like that.
What is the script? What's the script?
Good question. Just the way they go through whatever they produce for the show. It's very like on time, go, 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 go.
Sure,
They
moves
do
along
a lot into their shows.
But there's no script.
Argue that.
I can tell you there's no script. There's barely any there's no talking beforehand.
Correct.
There's like
Yeah.
just look at clips and then show them. There's no party line or script that I'm aware of.
Okay. So
But do you see what he did there? He goes, well, you guys, he says it 3 times. You guys are scripted. Well, you read from a script. Carl doesn't like when you deviate from the script.
Yeah.
I say, there is no script. And he's like, it's because you guys are on time. Oh, is that the issue? I thought it was a scripted show. Now it's because we're punctual? What is the issue? And why are you so quick to just jump on to the next if these are your issues? You know, that doesn't work in politics.
Right, yeah, there'd be a follow-up question. No, we're not moving on yet. Hold on a second. You said that the show was scripted, and it's definitely not.
Yeah.
But that is a weird one.
Adam, can you just say something bad about Carl, please?
That's 3 times. He can't get enough of it. If I do, it won't end.
Can we just pull up something from the Hackverse subreddit we can all agree on? Come on, man.
Get the cow bikini pickup.
Give me something. Cow bikini pick. Don't you think Carl's a little just do it, though? Come on, Adam. Let's be honest.
Well, he didn't ask me that.
From one just do it to another.
Yeah. 2 guys like us.
So then Quad presents some evidence that Shuli and I stole BYB's programming format because they're the weekly Dabbleverse review show. And we talked about on Point Dabble Point on Monday that Point Dabble Point's kind of transitioning into a Dabbleverse weekly roundup where we get into Kevin Brennan and Opie and Steel Toe and John's doing stuff. You know, he's got some live shows coming up and things like that. So there'll be John's stuff as well, but it's all Dabbleverse related.
Incompetent jerks.
Right. Yeah.
But I'm glad you're doing that because I have a hard time just talking about one. When we talk about one, it's all related. They're so similar. And I would censor myself. I like that it's now all of the topics.
I do too because I don't focus on Kevin Brennan as much. We will today. But Shuli does the Auntie Karen show, which is great. And he doesn't focus on Opie, but of course we do over here. And so it's fun to like bring us together and talk about Opie and Kevin and whoever else we're talking about at that time. And so, this is the discussion about that.
I do stuff. Yeah. So first question up. Point Dabble Point. Regardless, it was a Stuttering John show. How do you see the Shuli Network, Point Dabble Point, Stuttering John, by leaving the Dabbleverse, has really affected some of these channels? Do you have some thoughts that you could expound upon us about that?
Specifically in terms of
how like Stuttering John, he said he was going to put the Shuli Network out of business. I don't know. I do know their numbers are down a little bit since they're doing less and less Stuttering John. So now that the Shuli Network seems like they're going to be moving into all things Dabbleverse or other, and it has seemed to affect their income and their views. What do you think about Stuttering John's absence and its effect on the Dabbleverse?
I don't think his exit will mean there's less content to cover or less of a desire to, be involved in his world the same way I'm just as invested in Eric the Midget this many years after he's gone. But I'm all about covering all of the stuff from the Dabbleverse on all of the shows because when we talk about Opie, I'm the one who gets criticized for constantly bringing things back to John or to Chad because there's just so many similarities and I become very fascinated with those similarities. So I'm all about that and seeing as how just as a rule you'll take the opposite point of view of whatever Shuli or Carl have to say. There's definitely room for 2 shows because they're going to have opposing views to begin with if that's the nature of it. Do you know what I mean?
So what you're saying here is like, no, it's actually good that they're going to do a Dabbleverse show. You do your Dabbleverse show. You're not going to agree on what they're saying, so people can get different perspectives. There's room for everyone in this Dabbleverse, is what you're saying.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I wasn't trying to say like, oh, I invented the weekly dabbles whatever's like and people are stealing my ideas. I'm just seeing that people are starting to get away from like singular content and they're starting to move into like,
haven't we been doing this the entire time? Is that what the show has been? the entire time as we do. We cover a lot of different topics and a lot of different people on the show.
And he just said that you guys are stealing his idea. And he's like, I'm not saying
I'm not
stealing
saying
my
you're
idea.
Stealing the idea.
Okay, fine. Then what are you saying?
One more clip that we have on here from and you were on there for hours, but this is fun. I appreciate you putting in the time, and I appreciate you reporting back to us on how things went. Because honestly, I have no problem with Quad Father. I thought we were going to be hanging out at Hackamania, but I think I heard that Quad can't make it anymore.
No.
Oh, really?
I think that's what I heard. I think Mason and Portland's not coming to.
Did you read that in the subreddit?
I probably read it in the subreddit. Never mind. It's all bullshit. But anyway, hopefully he's there. I want to hang out with Quad Father. No issues there. But for some reason, he doesn't believe the truth about the Stevie Tomatoes incident, which is crazy to me. I can't believe there's people who would take John's ridiculous side that when he called into Kevin Brennan and Kevin Brennan offered zero pushback and just went, oh, wow, really? None of it made any sense. None of the timing lined up. None of the scenarios.
Can you bring me back to his argument? So John is saying he went out, scanned the parking lot, made sure everyone was cowering in their cars, and that's when he safely left. Right? Is that what he's saying?
He said, not only were me and Shuli hiding in our cars, but Shuli called the owner, and the owner was like,
oh, right. I forgot
you
about
better
that.
not come in.
Yeah.
You better. I mean, if you want to come in, don't go outside where John is. Just go in and go straight to the back.
Okay.
Because Chewie was scared about it. Like, oh shit, is John still there? Something like that. It was some crazy story like that he told. But I appreciate
And Quad buys it.
I appreciate Adam trying to talk some sense into the guy here.
Yeah, okay. Well, I mean, I agree with a lot of what you said, but I don't know, whatever. He left like right before. Whatever. I have questions about all that. I do like your point about I had never really considered what Rochi said about the parking lot being so damn small. Yeah, if he was out there in his car, then obviously Stuttering John would have seen Shuli hiding in his car if that were the case. So fair points. I'm not sure exactly how that worked.
Imagine we get into a disagreement here on this show, and we're just like, fuck it, and I get off, and we're pissed, and now we're enemies. And it turns out you, Quad, are coming to my local pub down the block where I can walk to. And you say you're going to be there at 8 o'clock. And I'm like, I've been waiting all this time to show Quad. I'm going to show up till 15 minutes before he's about to be there, and then I'm going to leave.
Yeah, there's
What
a
the
lot
fuck
of
is
bluster
that?
in this world. It is bullshit. Yeah,
that's it. That's what happened. It's the only thing that
If it
happened.
would have taken till 15 after the hour, I guess you make a good point. Why wouldn't you still be there a half hour later?
For the honor of his children and his family.
Yes.
You can't be there 15 minutes later.
My family. You doxed everybody. Yeah, for sure, man. Okay, yeah, that is a very good point, actually. I had never really thought of it like that. But
I mean, I'm still going to vote for him, but you make a lot of good points. Yeah.
Quad's got some bias, it seems like, that's clouding his interpretation of how things are going down.
But he comes around.
He does.
Pretty much with every question.
I like that it's, and I think Adam sent me know, he's just like, fair enough means I won that argument. He's just, all right, fair enough. Moving on.
Which is more than you can expect from anyone else in the Dabbleverse. So
Sure.
I appreciate
Yes.
all of their willingness to listen and play around.
Yeah,
Totally.
not enough of that.
And I appreciate you for going on their show and representing WATP. That was very cool. Any final thoughts on that? You ready to move on?
Just that these, because it's interesting, we talk about projection, and his agenda was to show that I am towing a party line that is dictated to me by big WATP and you guys, and it's
Right.
and that's what I do, and I learn my opinions from that, and I
Could you
explain-
imagine if I gave you notes every time? And I'm like, well, you disagreed with me about the drool coming out of John's mouth. Let's not do that again.
That's the script.
It's wild. And it becomes very clear that that's not what happens here, and I'm willing to own any opinion that I've made and back it up or even change my mind. And he toes a party line. He says, working with John, I learned to hate Carl and Shuli, and that was something we could connect over, so that's just what I do. And even when it goes against facts or friendship or what I see right in
good
front of
taste.
me. Yeah, or taste or anything. And we have spent a long time where I ask him why he did this with John. And you could tell, just like many of the people we talk about, he still doesn't know, and he hasn't processed it. He has
Still
no
not
answers.
sure what his end game was going to be. You know, it's interesting. Little Lemmy, I don't know if she's still on the show anymore, but Little Lemmy used to be on this show. She did the same thing. She just decided to just stop, dislike me. And it happened on X, where she pulled a clip, or she responded to a clip of Andy making a false statement about Chad's comedy show in Florida.
Sure.
And if you watch the show or you listen to the show, I immediately correct Andy on it. I go, actually, no, that's not what it was. It was this. And Little Emmy's like, oh, how does WTP let Andy say something that's such a lie? And I go, you mean the thing I corrected him on immediately? She's like, yeah, but there's other things too. You're like,
Right.
oh, okay, so you just don't like me. You just don't want to be mad at me. It doesn't matter what the actual facts are or substance.
No, you doxed someone.
Right.
And then it was, all right, you gave Merchant Complaints name, even though I'm out here with my name. And then it was, okay, I just didn't like the use of the word bitch boy because he's very sensitive about language. I hate Shuli because of the whole ESO thing. It was just the tone and the timing. Okay, that's reason enough.
Well, since you brought up the doxing thing, I didn't want to say this because I didn't know if he wanted this out there or not, but Rick from New York is the guy that I was talking about.
He does it again. He doubles down.
So
look at that.
He just sent me $5, Rick from New York. It says, I am easily the least important person that's ever been doxed in the Dabbleverse. Guess this is my 15 minutes. So for all the people who are clutching their pearls.
We know your name. We know your state.
He looks just like Imus. I can pick him out of a lineup.
And Quad, if it was so horrible that Carl kept releasing his name, why did you play 4 clips that say his name and personally say his name like 6 other times? Why wouldn't you just protect it if that's doxing someone?
There was a local weatherman here in Rochester, this is maybe 7 or 8 years ago, maybe longer, who was trying to say Martin Luther King Park, because we have a park named after Martin Luther King. And he said Martin Luther and then K-O-O-N.
Oh, right.
And it because it's like the June.
What was
Martin
that?
Luther King Jr.
The what?
But if you say K and then you go to June immediately, it could screw things up. And it was a midday newscast that he corrected himself immediately. And the mayor came out and she said, he did this on purpose because he's a racist. And they played this on the news and in social media everywhere. It's all I heard was this guy making a quick flub. No one would have heard it. The ratings are like 38 people on a Wednesday at 4:00 when he's doing his newscast. And instead it was pounded into everybody's ears. So if it really is such a horrible thing where you have this crazy racist who's trying to push this agenda on the local news during its weather forecasts, like, well, that's not a good way to deal with it.
Yeah.
Making sure that everyone hears it a bunch of times. But
that's the John school of, you said this
Exactly.
horrible thing about my kids that I'm
Right.
going to accept money to retweet.
That's how you know it's
and put on
disingenuous.
television. Yeah.
Yep. Precisely. If you want to support this very program, WATP, our Wednesday edition, producer Chris, Adam Busch, you can do that by going to supertip.gg/WATP. And we do have some fine folks who are doing that.
Between Quadfather, whatever the HE double hockey stick that means, and Aaron, we need to keep the autistic and slows away from mics and cameras. Let's save YouTube, folks.
Oh, man. Coach Scott. We're not going to talk about Aaron Imholt and Steel Toe today. There's so much to get to. But the whole thing we talked about on This Little Piggy, where Doom put out the clip of Coach Scott saying that Aaron can no longer be here on Thursdays and spar with us because he doesn't have the credentials for it because of his legal issues. And then Aaron goes on and goes, oh, that was all. He was just fucking with you guys. And then they took a photo over the weekend with a piece of paper that says got him or something like that. It's already being photoshopped. You never hold up a piece of paper. It was Scott and Aaron standing next to each other with a piece of paper that had words on it, which is always a bad decision to make.
If you ever wonder how Richard Ojeda ended up in John's world, it was just like this. They have a common bond on boxing. I'm a brother in the ring with you. I have an enemy. Now they're your enemies. Let's fight them together. And this is what happens. he's, okay, I'm with you. We're in the trenches now. There's a lot of anger to have, and it's not going to end well, Coach. I'm sorry.
My speaking of Richard Ojeda, my sister-in-law just sent me a screenshot today. He was on with Hal Sparks. I wonder how John feels about that. His old buddies working together.
They turned on me.
Well, yeah, probably.
Hal Sparks, who told him to burn his house down.
He did. And he was right. Anonymous $5 says they lost the argument when they said Carl is punctual. I try, guys. I mean, sometimes I'm waiting around for co-hosts and stuff. It's not always me.
It's usually my fault.
It's not always me. Wes Little, $5 says my favorite time of the week, cock meat sandwiches for everyone. Thank you, Wes Little. Always doling out cock meat sandwiches.
Very generous.
Erica Ann has been a member for 20 months. Thank you very much. Hello, gentlemen. Double House was a fantastic way to recover from surgery. It hurt to laugh, but was worth it. Oh, Erica, I'm glad to hear that. Thanks for being a part of it, and hope you're doing well on the mend. John Dalton, member for 19 months. Adam, you were awesome with Quad. The Shuley news shit was idiotic. Glad you pointed it out.
Yeah, he knew to what end, to get away with what.
Right. That's the thing that VTM and all these idiots could never answer. He knew for an entire year. Why? Why would he do that? Stupid. Timothy McD, $2 says Trump didn't TLL Proud Boys to sit back and sit by.
He didn't tell the Proud
Trump
Boys.
didn't tell Proud Boys to sit back and sit by. All right. Okay. Rocco Orby 2002, $2 says you forgot to send us a copy of the script. Oh shit, I sent it to the viewers now too. I don't want to do that. Then you'll call me on flubbing things. I'm just kidding. I'm perfect. Detroit Dabbler, $2. Nice work, Adam. You're quickly becoming a DV All-Star.
I'm just for the love of the game,
I mean, coming from Detroit Dabbler, that means a lot. That means a lot.
I saw him on Opie not long ago. He was helping him out.
He does a good job on there. My boy Christian Blatt is on with $5. Carl, I'm on BYB tonight, but still haven't got my talking points from you yet. Don't want to talk out of turn, big boss man. Send me them soon, please. Dude, check your spam folder.
Mm-hmm.
Check your spam folder. Check out Christian Blatt on BYB. Adam Davies with £2 says, send Clearwater Chad the link. Never!
Having heard the tapes now, going back and watching John's last show is amazing. Because that's when he learns the tapes are going to be released and everybody, and he's, just lying and pretending he doesn't care. I didn't notice how funny Chad was in that appearance. At some point, he's railing about why would Kate do that. And Chad says, I'll talk to her for you, John. I think he means it. It's great.
Well, he does mean it. That's the thing about Clearwater Chad. He's a sincere boy. But yeah, you're right. And we haven't gotten through all of that episode, John's final episode. We'll definitely continue to revisit it because it was 5.5 hours of him being a drunk mess. But in that episode, when he starts to process that, oh my gosh, my conversations were recorded again by Kate Meany and they will be coming out again. You heard John say, well, I was feeding her all this bullshit. I was lying to her. But listen to everything that we played. There's nothing on there that John would say he's lying about. It's all embarrassing, and it's not.
He said he has connections.
No, you know what I mean? No, like
yeah, I totally know what you mean.
Flirting with a girl he's trying to fuck.
He's trying to impress her, trying to fuck her,
right?
Trying to get her to come over.
Yes,
to see how stable everything is.
These are not integrity verification things.
No,
they're not even close. So.
The first thing he says when it comes up is what? Did I say, oh, I love you, baby. You're so hot. And it was like, yeah, that's exactly what you said.
What did I say? I wanted to bang her on the Eiffel Tower. I mean, that's a
you did.
joke. Like, yeah, no, you did. It was embarrassing that you lauged in your face.
And somebody chats in and you said some awful stuff about your kids. And that's when he starts with the who cares? I don't know. Maybe your kids do.
I don't talk to them anymore.
So why would I care?
I'm not in their life. Who cares?
Fair enough.
That is still available, by the way. Dabblecon.live. You can still go in there and sign up if you want to go watch those shows. They're all still there for you to check out.
It is worth it.
Robo Shitstain MK9000 turned me on to a podcast that came out recently. Anything can be a podcast, it's called. With Taylor Cartago. And this is an interesting thing that he tried to do. It's a little experiment, a little performance art here. He decided to do a podcast from inside an elevator. that's going up and down in the large building for over an hour. And I'll show you what this looks like.
Realizes, right? Because again, a lot of it is like mashed potatoes, a lot of it's like cubes of.
Let me back up to the beginning here.
Welcome back to Anything Could Be a Podcast with Taylor Cartago. I'm Taylor Cartago, and anything can be a podcast. Today I'm talking about something really important and really special. Yesterday, something life-changing happened to me, and I just want to make sure that the rest of the world knows about this. I watched a Minecraft movie, and now I went in thinking that the Minecraft movie was going to be like any other movie. A third of the title is movie.
So no one on
I just
this,
want to make sure that the rest of the world knows.
no one on this elevator knows who this guy or what's happening during this. And you just get to see people react to getting on an elevator with a camera running and a guy talking into a camera.
Until he reaches the nether. Oh, go ahead. Now he's chilling, now he's rocking, now he's in the nether. It's like, oh man, blah, 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 you know? Him and his dog go in, right? Again, if anyone knows the name of the dog, let me know in the comments down below. I forgot his name, but he's a really crucial character, I guess. And, they see the piglins, and the piglins are the main antagonists of...
So it's not a good show. He's not doing a good job of presenting anything, but I just thought it was fun that he's explaining a Minecraft movie in a crowded elevator. Kind of a different way to do things.
This is a great joke, and this was really funny for the first 5 seconds until it sinks in. Oh, this is it. That little spark in the first 10 seconds is all we have to offer for the next 10 seasons.
It's an hour and 10 minutes. It has 413,000 views from 2 weeks ago on a channel that only has 36,000 subs. So it's caught in people's eye. They're checking it out, and I just wanted to point that out. This next clip I want to play for you real quick. This actually is something that I just caught in the wild because I like Tim Dillon, as you know. I've brought up a few times. And Tim Dillon is on the Joe Rogan Experience, and he's promoting his new Netflix special that's out now called I'm Your Mother. And so they're talking about his new Netflix special, and Joe Rogan remembers that he actually wanted to call it something else.
But RFK is going to...
What did you want to call it that they wouldn't let you?
My son's pussy.
Yeah.
No.
I don't understand why they said no to that.
There was negative feedback.
You're going to get negative feedback no
They
matter
also
what.
didn't know about the Kevin Spacey promo until the day it came out.
I think My Son's
kept
Pussy would
that.
have made it number one.
I think My Son's Pussy would have been a great move.
It would have been number one out
Hopefully
of the
next
gate.
time.
Out of the gate.
Oh,
They would be
out of the
like,
gate.
I'm clicking on this.
That's right.
What is he saying?
That's right. Fuck you, Lonesome Canyon.
So he wanted to name his Netflix stand-up special My Son's Pussy.
That would be a pussy boy.
That would be a pussy boy, yes, as John would say. I just thought that was very funny. I want to do a quick tribute to Knight Melendez. But Netflix
John's made it clear that everyone is stealing his nicknames.
That's
Everyone,
true. Yeah,
they're
right.
stealing.
Even
That's a
Tim
fact,
Dillon.
Jack. I've heard that. I'm sure it's all from John.
Even Tim Dillon is doing that. All right. One of the main things I want to talk about today with you is the falling out between Kevin Brennan and Chad Zuma. Can you believe it?
Yeah, I can.
Oh, okay. For the third or fourth time, who's even keeping track, Kevin and Chad are fighting, and no longer is Chad welcomed on MLC because, as you know, KB demands loyalty, and he doesn't want anyone who sticks up for Shuli. So this was the final appearance of Chad on MLC, and thank you to Doom. I know Doom gets upset when I don't give him credit. Doom, thank you for clipping this, because there's absolutely no way to see Kevin Brennan's show if there weren't clippers clipping it for us. There'd be no way to see what's going on over there. So thank you for that.
Shuli's a piece of shit, and Shuli's a lying piece of shit.
Listen.
And he's best, like I said, he's best with Kumia. He's with Carl. People that Chad swears up and down that he can't stand.
No, I
mean, Chad does a show called Kumia's Cucks. Kumia's best, he's with Shuli. So again, it makes Chad. It hurts your show. It hurts Kumia's Cucks because it looks like it stands. It doesn't really stand for that because Kumia is like 1 degree away from you. Then you know what I mean. At some point, I wouldn't be surprised if you end up on a show with Shuli and Kumia.
So the problem here is that we have this show, Kumia's Cucks. It's Chad's biggest show ever. Yes. And he talks about all the Kumia ball washers. Chrissy Mayer, Gino Bisconte, Carl Hamburger.
No talent.
But he doesn't talk about Shuli. And Shuli and Anthony do shows together all the time. Anthony's constantly on TSN. And Kevin's finally had enough of this. He's finally said, what in the heck? We're over here on MLC together doing a show, and you're not calling out Shuli on Kumia's Cucks. It's making all of us look bad over here. And so he wants to know, like, who are you beefing with if you're not beefing with Shuli? The guy that Kevin's always beefing with is Shuli. He hates Shuli. The reason why is still wild to me. Is because Shuli was on Kelta's show, and Kelta gave out Kevin's phone number while Shuli was the guest, which really was Chad's fault, and actually ultimately Kevin's fault for giving out Kelta's number before that, which is why there was a retaliation. But Kevin just needs a reason to hate someone, and then boom, it's on, and it'll just tell you how much he hates them for forever. And he asks Chad, well, who are you beefing with if not Shuli then?
Listen, if we didn't have that conversation and we didn't squash things and if he didn't pay me, yeah, there would be a problem. But there isn't. Until that happens yet, again, then this is what it is. And I don't know what to say, guys. Like, how many more beefs do I need? Like, I have a million of them. Like,
who's your big beef now, other than outside Kelsey Cook?
That's it. Well, no, I mean, Melton's a douchebag to me. Carl's a raging douche. Like, if Carl makes it territorial, if you think I'm funny, he doesn't want to talk to you.
That's fun. I like that I'm number 2 on there. We haven't really talked about Chad in a long time, but we're still doing very well. Meanwhile, Patrick's doing full segments on, Cardiff's doing full segments on Chad all the time, but I'm number 2. That's cool.
And you're talking to everybody, so nobody thinks Chad's funny.
That is what's crazy about that statement. I'm trying to figure out where he got that from, and I'll talk to people who think Chad's funny. Like, I've never met someone who thinks Chad's funny.
Correct.
There's people who might like Chad's show, but no one says they like it because Chad's funny.
I think it's similar to John. I think when they accept him, that means they think he's funny. And I think when Kevin rejects him, he's like, so you don't think I'm funny? But you said I was funny. I'm funny.
Right. No. Your soundboard's hilarious. The whip sound effect. The list goes on. They're all
Swarston says I'm funny.
Right. Oh, he brings that up quite a bit.
He told Rocco, tell Rocco, Nick, tell Rocco I'm funny.
Yep. He always has to go back to that. So, it gets brought up by Kevin that, Carl, he's a piece of shit. I agree with you on that. But isn't Shuli even worse?
Kumia is a fucking, he has a total...
Yeah, but they're all friends with Shuli, and we all know Shuli's a piece of shit, so it's like...
Yeah, but you're friends with Stuttering John.
Carl has more integrity. I mean, Carl's better respected than Shuli or any of these, but like Shuli's the least respected of all these fucking clowns.
So Kevin's trying to. This is the thing that like you were talking about when you were on with Quadfather. This is the thing that people assume I'm doing. I tell people what their views need to be on certain people, and you need to agree with me on this stuff. This is exactly what Kevin Brennan's doing right here. He's just like, we agree Carl's a piece of shit, but people hate Shuli even more than Carl. Did you not know that? Like, you have to hate Shuli if you hate Carl.
Yeah. And I'll take this one for Adam. There's a Stuttering John parallel.
Yes.
Yeah.
How could you do his show?
Mm-hmm.
He is this and that.
The funny thing is that Chad didn't even do Shuli's show. This all started with, it was just like, talk shit about Shuli. And Chad's just like, I have enough people I'm beefing with. Why would I talk shit about Shuli? I don't have a problem with the guy. And that was all it took. It's not like Chad's the 4th guy on Uncle Rico now. He's not doing the Auntie Karen show.
Not yet.
It might be soon. It's very possible.
And to your point, Chris, didn't KB and Kumia used to do a show together?
Yeah.
Okay, so they changed their minds now? Is that what happens? Now he's an enemy?
Yeah, KB used to do Anthony's show along with Bob Levy every Thursday. They would go over and do the Anthony Cumia show. And then Anthony started giving them money because he's like, well, if you're going to come in here and travel. Here's $100. And then KB decided to turn on Anthony because that wasn't enough money, even though he was going on just as a guest.
Right.
Every Thursday. I mean, the more you look back into Kevin's beefs, the more ridiculous this man is.
I don't know, Carl. I can't see too good. I'm just an old man, but it seems to me like this is all a work.
Yeah. It seems to me, and we could break this down until we watch these clips because we're going to watch this falling out. Then we're going to see Kevin talk about this after the fact and what a piece of shit Chad is. Then we're going to see Chad respond to that on his show, what a piece of shit Kevin is. And all of this brings attention to them. So this is working for them. If Kevin did this on purpose because people aren't watching MLC anymore and it's boring and their guests suck, I get it. Like, he does this every year and a half, whatever it is, where it's just like he hates Chad again and they don't do shows anymore. And then they make up again at some point, then they do shows together and all of it changes again. So all of this could just be a work to try to get people like me talking about it. But it really is pathetic. And I do like that people like Kevin get exposed when they start calling out other people.
Yes.
Like, like this example here.
Chad, you can be friends with him all you want. Shuli's a fucking loser.
You can be friends with him all you want. He does not mean that. I just thought that was funny. He throws that in there. That's not what he thinks.
Chad, you can be friends with him all you want. Shuli's a fucking loser. Shuli's a loser. There's no disputing that.
Dude,
15 years on a Stern show. All anybody has to say about Shuli is that he's a lying piece of shit who underpays people, tries to, he can't sell tickets by himself. So he has to get all these, he has to get an engineer to help him sell tickets because Shuli's he couldn't sell tickets on his own.
What's great about this is you have Kevin Brennan sitting next to Chad Zumach, two guys who cannot sell tickets, don't even try. I know that Chad does some headlining shows around his area in Florida, but for the most part, these guys aren't selling out clubs or theaters. They're not even trying to do shows. It's ridiculous. So for the argument to be like, yeah, what the fuck? Shuli can't even sell tickets. Why don't you try selling some tickets? And then you can call him out for that, I would think, especially considering they're in the same line of work. So very easy one-to-one comparison.
He can also make some jokes every once in a while. It's just angry ranting.
Yes.
Yeah, correct.
When Chad hopped on PDP that one time, he was clearly afraid of what Kevin thought.
Oh, yeah.
He was afraid.
It's like, I'm going to get in trouble for this.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
And then here we have Kevin saying, you can be friends with whoever you want.
Right.
Shuli's a fucking loser.
Yep.
So what he's saying is, Chad, are you a fucking loser?
Right.
Yep.
That's what he's leaving out.
You're either with me or against me is Kevin's entire worldview on this.
I like the idea of going over the stupid details of this dumb stuff like it's important. But when they do it, it feels like high school gossip shit. It feels like, but they're a boogerhead. How could you let him in your club? It's like, well, I don't know, KB. I don't know.
So Chad's at a point right now where he's just like, what do you want me to do? I don't know what I'm supposed to do with this.
You can see it for what it is, but at the same time, it's just like, what do you want me to do? Like, I don't know. I don't go on a show. I don't,
The fans are not happy. They're not happy.
I know they're not. And, when Stuttering John got my gig canceled and he called the police on me, Truly called, like, what the fuck? What's going on? And that, gave me some advice on what to do and how to handle it.
What did he tell you to hire a lawyer?
I don't remember exactly, but it was just like, so, you were going to give Stuttering John, how much money to come back on? $3,000?
50 grand.
You're out of your mind.
So Chad's obviously calling Kevin out for, John calls into the show and Kevin puts him right on and he's talking to Stuttering John Melendez. It's just like, yeah, but you can't talk to Shuli. Like, well, why are you able to talk to John? I can't talk to Shuli. So Chad's just like, well, I don't know what you want from me, except for he does now. And he actually is sticking up for himself, which is good on Chad. Just like, dude, I'm not going to call Shuli out because you told me to call Shuli out. That's not going to help me. So I'm not going to do that. But it's interesting to note how many times when Chad talks about how hard he went after Chrissy and Frank, he would say, well, Kevin told me to do that. We've heard many times Chad defend himself for going after someone because someone else told him to do it. And yet this is the thing where he goes, well, what? You want me to hate Shuli? Like, yes, be a good soldier, be a good MLC soldier, and hate Shuli. That's the job description. Did you not read the job description before you applied for this? You didn't know that?
And it's really funny that Chad's like having trouble wrestling with this. When somebody comes up to you and says at the airport, "Hey, will you take this money into the country for me?" You just say no. You say, no, that's not what I do. You're having trouble because you don't know how you feel. Or
that might be a bad example with Chad, but
oh, good point.
I know what you mean.
Yeah, a regular
I'm more of a
person.
drug mule, but sure, I'll take
He's more of a credit card fraud than a
right. Yeah,
cash grab. But he doesn't know what to feel, so he doesn't know what he's supposed to say. Right. So he's kind of trapped there, and you do kind of feel bad for him a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit, except for he knows what this is. He knows what he's putting himself into when he's going on Kevin Brennan's show, because Kevin's enemies with everyone, and he only wants loyalists around him. Kevin hates Trump, but it's a very Trump-esque move right here. I just need everyone to be loyal to me and to hate the Washington Post. That's the most important part.
Kill your idols.
So let's fast forward. Stalin 19 grab some clips for us, because after this episode, Kevin decided to get Tukey on and talk to Tukey about this this falling out and get Tukey's take on Chad Zumick.
Wait, are you talking about Chad?
Yeah, you reacted to my tweet where I'm said I'm
Yeah.
out of the basketball business, I'm out of the Chad and the rape business.
Oh, that ungrateful piece of garbage. All that you have done for that man. And what has Shuli done for him? Is Shuli paying his bills? That's what Tukey wants to know. Is he on the Shuli payroll? Does he have a key to the ESO vaults?
So what I love about Tukey is he's just trying to get KB more wound up. Yeah, what a piece of shit that Chad is. What the fuck is he thinking with this?
Also a good example of a good ESO joke.
Correct.
If I may be so bold.
Well, they do have the ESO vault that they do looking at pictures of kids on the Be Dabbling network. It's a whole production number. Anyway, you get the point. So good on Tukey to come in and to feed Kevin what he wants to hear, even though he's pretty much clowning Kevin to his face. Like a Kevin who's paying closer attention would kick him off the screen.
Just like John, he's blinded by
Yes.
the enemy of my enemies, and he has, for the first time I've ever seen, a smile on his face, and he's looking at Tukey going, I don't know why I like this guy, I just do. I know it's a mystery to you. It's pretty clear to everyone else, including Tukey, that you're just taking the bait.
Adam, you, me, or Chris could get on MLC later this week if we just said that Shuli sucks and we don't like him anymore. That's all it would take. We'd be asked to be on MLC.
Yeah.
He would love that. Like, that's all you got to do is hate on Shuli. And so this is Kevin bitching about money again. What happened was there's this website that tracks everybody's super chats and it ranks who's making the most money on YouTube. And so TSN was pointing out that Kevin was below them on this most recent month. And so he was getting clowned for that. And he hates that. I remember a year or two ago, Patrick Melton was only focused on Kevin Brennan's numbers and money coming in and viewers. Kevin hates when people focus on that sort of thing. It's not a fan.
Tukey, I'm one guy. I make the same amount as them, and they're five guys.
Yes, and they make delicious burgers.
They had five. They made $1,000 more last month on YouTube, but I make more on Patreon. I just did the math today. They have like 300 members on their Patreon. I have like 500 to 600. So I'm whatever they're ahead of me on YouTube. I'm ahead of them on Patreon. So Shuli,
I gotta change my numbers in the books.
Shuli can't pay Chad anything. So Chad's trying to play it like, Kevin will pay me, and I'll pretend like I'm a man of my word. Again, I didn't even know that you guys. So Cardiff really hates Shuli now, and you don't like Shuli either.
No.
Okay. So that's really all it takes. I just love the idea that you have this guy, Kevin Brennan, who I knew about well before I got into podcasting and the Dabbleverse and stuff. I've talked about this many times. I was a fan of his stand-up. And I've seen him on TV, and I enjoyed him on there. His brother is still putting out Netflix specials and has a podcast with A-list guests and stuff. And Kevin is on his show talking about how, Okay, they made $1,000 more than me on Super Chats on YouTube, but my Patreon has 500 people and theirs has 300. So I bet if you added up that, it would probably make up the difference with the YouTube. Well, what are we talking about?
Another win for Pinky.
What the fuck? You're a 60-something-year-old man and you're talking about a couple of hundred of Patreon subscribers? This is pathetic.
This is the day he gave up being a comedian. He is no longer interested in comedy. No. You have a funny comedian here riffing with you, giving you bits and leads, and you're like,
ready to go.
Shut the fuck up. I'm trying to hate on this guy. We have no time for comedy. And you think that's what's wrong with the this is why, a political comedy doesn't work, because when the agenda is more important than the joke, it doesn't work. And that's who you've become. Look at this shit. He's just like, it's like a telethon, or like we're raising money to stop this cause, and that's all it's
raising
about.
Hate.
Yeah.
We're raising hate over here. Who wants to come and hate on someone with me? Let's go.
And the cause is his dinner.
So Kevin loves to own people. That's like his main thing. He wants to be able to own and control people. We've seen many examples of that.
Chad's show doesn't make money. That's a fact.
Jack.
Chad's show by himself doesn't make a lot of money. So if Nick Swartz is not throwing him gigs, or if he doesn't make money over here, I don't know where he's making money.
So he wants Chad to need him. Kevin pays like $125 to do his show. It might be less than that now. I know his super chats aren't what they used to be. But when I did his show, I think he paid me $150, $125, $100 one time. So it's in that area, in that range. And Kevin thinks that he then owns you when he pays you that much. And he's done that to Ray DeVito. He told Ray, all right, well, I'm going to stop paying you if you do Hackamania. He wants to be able to control what people can do outside of MLC, what shows they can go on, who they can be friends with. And I've said this before, Kevin had a pilot. He could have had his own sitcom. Imagine what this monster would have done with actual power and control over people, like real salaries.
Well, it may have gone different. He could be a really nice person today.
Here's why you know that's not true. Because not only is he paying them to own them, but it's consistent, and I learned this now when you said it, it's manipulative, that he pays you one amount and then that amount gets smaller and smaller each time. And people that are unstable, like Stuttering John, cannot fucking handle that because it messes with their mind. It makes them go, did I not do as good? Should I be trying harder? Did I not get back quick enough? I'll try and be more available.
Did I not say Shuli's an awful Jewish guy enough times on this episode?
Not enough. It's never enough. Even if you're interrupting a bit, just jump on in. Even if it's not what we're talking about. That's what we're doing here.
I'm OCD. I need 3,000 every time.
It's my OCD that does that. So yeah, I mean, we're talking about, I think with Ray DeVito, he was bragging about paying him $9,000.
Who does own Ray?
He needs someone. He needs a conservatorship, or what is that called? Conservatorship, like Britney Spears had. Ray DeVito needs that.
Yes, someone should be making his decisions for him.
Correct. But yeah, when we were talking about like $9,000 a year, I guess $12,000 is thrown out for Chad, which we'll get to that. Chad's going to address it. $12,000 a year is $1,000 a month.
Yeah,
you can make that up. You can figure out a way to make $1,000 a month. It's a part-time job. If you're a streamer, you could figure out another show to do or something to make that up. But Kevin acts like he owns and controls their thoughts and their lives because I pay this guy $1,000 a month to be on my show. Cool. So then Ken Mosca gets brought up. Ken Mosca is an enemy because Ken Mosca is one of these super chatters who's got some money to throw around and has been a big supporter of MLC over the years, but also Ken Mosca apparently is supporting TSN.
Unbelievable.
I know. And so Ken Mosca is also supporting Chad. So Kevin doesn't give a fuck how much money Ken's given to him. This guy is now an enemy, and Kevin's got to go after him viciously.
Ken Mosca acts like he's this rich guy. Ken Mosca, he has a severely autistic son. Everyone froze. He's a severely autistic son.
Okay.
He's gonna.
I mean, so you're saying he has weak sperm?
That is true, but I'm also saying Ken Musk acts like he's rich. He's gonna have to put his his wife. I know this because Musk told me.
Stop it! You wouldn't want people to talk about your kid, like it's just his kid.
No, Ken Musk is trying to stick it to me. I'm sticking to him back.
But to his kid.
He's gonna bully. He's gonna give Chad money to stick it to me. Fuck him. He don't have the money. Save the money for your kid when you put him in a home.
So Kevin's being a scumbag here.
Yeah.
And I love Tukey's response.
Yeah.
You couldn't have scripted that better.
Oh.
He just stares at him like,
Yeah,
what are we doing?
Just let it hang in the air like a bad fart.
Yeah.
Well, like
what
a fart.
what are we doing right now? And then Tukey's just like, dude, why are you going after the guy's kid?
Good
Nothing
question.
to do with this shit. What are you doing? And Kevin's just like, no, that's what I do. I fuck with people. And doing this will attract a certain type of audience to your show. The way that Kevin's behaving. And he's done this for a while. These people are not going to be loyalists. They're going to be pests.
Yeah.
Much like the Opie and Anthony audience turned on Opie and Anthony. That is the audience that Kevin is building with this type of talk. Like, let's go after autistic children. Let's call out family members. Kevin hates it when you talk about his family members. Well, he forgave it and let Rob Sal back on his show for some reason because he's spineless and probably hasn't seen his family in a while. But either way, I loved the way the Tukey handled that.
Oh, this was a classic, like, drunk, abusive husband at the birthday party who makes that rude comment, and the wife is like, oh, no, he's just kidding. He's just kidding. He's making a joke about sperm, and he's like, no, I'm not kidding. Fuck that guy.
Yeah, you're right. Tukey gave him an out.
He tried really hard, like, in the name of comedy and a show. And Katie's like, no, we're not joking. Fuck that guy and his stupid son. Oh, okay, so that's what we're doing here? That's what you brought me on here to do? To shit on this guy's son? Cool show, KB.
Yeah, good stuff. Funny.
We're watching Chad grow a pair and defend himself, and we're watching Kevin become the mud shark.
Yes. That's and we're going to see examples of this coming up where Chad's just like, that's going too far. It's like, too far? I mean, you're the one who invented this whole thing, but okay. So they're talking more about Ken Maska, and what Kevin's saying here is that by Ken Maska supporting Chad, he's actually fucking with Chad, who's going to lose money over this.
No, Tukey. Ken Musk is causing trouble for Chad. And again, is Ken Musk going to pay Chad $12,000 this year?
No. Well, I thought Chad was on the salary, boss. I thought he was on the payroll now.
Yeah, but Chad can't handle success.
That is true.
Mm-hmm. So he gets a little taste of success, and he'll be like, I'll do whatever I want.
So Chad, I guess, was being guaranteed $1,000 a month, it sounds like. $12,000 a year, righteous bucks. Mm-hmm. And he goes, can Ken Maska pull that off? Probably. I would imagine. It's doable.
Why isn't he embarrassed about talking about these figures like this?
That's a great question. Why isn't he embarrassed?
All he does is talk about money, and this is a pittance.
Right. And then he always bitches when it's tax time with all the 1099s he has to send out. By the way, I'll say this. Someone will clip this. It's not something I normally talk about. I guarantee you I pay more in 1099s. And I never talk about it. I never bitch about it. It's just part of doing business. It's what most people who host a show or own a business, they just do it. They don't just do it.
We're going to clip that.
They don't feel a need to brag about it. Like they're so amazing and they control the universe. I know what you're wondering, Adam. Who the fuck is Ken Maska?
That's a great question. Is he a hockey
Ken
player?
Maska acting like this is a win for Chad to not work here anymore, and Ken Maska's going to prop him up like Bentley does to fucking Ray DeVito. It ain't happening. Ken Maska don't have any money.
Can I ask you one question?
Okay.
Other than you've said his name a bunch of times, and Chad says his name every day, who the fuck is Ken Maska?
Exactly.
Thank you, Cardiff. So at this point, Cardiff has joined the show. And he's also confused about what's going on, why we're going after Ken Maska's kids, and why anyone's even bringing his name up. This is where we've gotten to, and this is the thing that I pointed out a while ago that KB got very upset with me about, where I said, it's not a good business model to have 20% of your super chatters give you 80% of your income, because you can lose those people and they don't have them anymore. And now we're at a point where we're bitching about Ken Mosca.
It'll never happen.
Yeah, he's like, what is he talking about? It's like, no, this is where we're at right now, where the super chatters are going away, and now we have to play tug of war over Ken Mosca, who he's going to be supporting going forward.
Which would also explain the fake beef between him and Chad. It's time for sweeps week.
So I don't think this is fake in Chad's mind, but I do agree that there is something being calculated here where Kevin's like, I got to get some juice. I got to get some heat.
Yeah, well,
I'm
like
just
you said,
wasting
it's time.
Yeah, he does this. It's a cycle for him.
Right.
And KB has been going on multiple times a day. He's seeing fewer and fewer viewers, less super chats coming in. He's just getting drunk on the weekends. We were watching a clip, I think, on Point Dabble Point. It's like 2 or 3 in the morning, and he's just drunk doing his stupid stream with losers. You're like, okay, is this what MLC is now? I think he's recognizing he's got to change things up a little bit.
I wish he'd get back on the turnpike. That was the best content ever.
That was pretty good. I'd watch him in more cop cam videos.
Oh, yeah.
All right, well, we're taking KB's side. This is a smart on Cardiff and Tukey's part since they're on MLC.
We're your real friends, Kevin. We've never asked you for money.
Yeah, how is Shuli not a Kumia cuck?
He is. He's the biggest cuck.
Yeah, but how's he not in Chad's intro for Kumia's cucks? Who the fuck has heard of Frank and Chrissy? Who's heard from them in the last 2 years? But Shuli has Kumia on every week.
What does Shuli?
Shuli's not a Kumia cuck?
What does Shuli have on Chad? I think is the question we should all be asking here.
I love that. I love that Kevin's getting played.
Yeah.
On his own show.
He got
right
real
now.
quiet there.
I don't even know if he's recognizing what's going on.
No, he's
But
not.
Cardiff and Tukey are taking over. This is now the Cardiff and Tukey show.
Because they were doing an improv with a bunch of funny people, and Kevin ran in with a gun and started pointing the gun and shooting it at people. So the rest of the comedians didn't have anything left to do but just, do a funny show without him.
Right.
Comedy, everyone. Bang!
Yeah.
So, yeah, I thought that was a good observation on Cardiff's part. And so, all of a sudden, Tukey starts taking shots at me. Adam, can you believe that?
It happens when you're out there in the wild. It comes up.
Like if Chad was getting paid at the pedophile network, that'd be one thing. I'd be like, yeah, if it makes dollars, it makes sense. But it don't, so it don't.
That's what everyone says over at the WATP headquarters too. If only Carl paid us, this would make more sense that we have to be here every week.
Fuck you, Tukey. Go fuck yourself. So this is just one of the funniest off-the-cuff things that Tukey has ever said. I'll just let it play because this is fantastic.
Tukey is still a proponent on you shouldn't pay anyone, Kevin. Everyone should come on your show and do the best appearance they can, so
Except
people
Karmic.
want to go
Karmic's
and follow
gold.
them.
Pay Karmic.
Yeah, pay Karmic.
Okay. Well, you know why I started paying people?
For friendship?
No. Because
Yes. Perfect time. You know why I started paying people? Because you need friends. Is that why? Well done, Tukey. Bonus points for that one, my friend. So now let's. So we were on Stale 19. Let's head back over. Oh no, that was Doom. Let's head back over to more Doom. God damn it, I can't keep up with what I'm pulling from because Chad's on his show now.
Yes.
And now Chad's got people turning on him because Kevin's told them to turn on him. So he has to deal with that.
I don't shit on the Shuli network and Shuli. Is that why? Is that where we're going? Why? Because KB hates them? Kevin Brennan hates them. Well, newsflash, Kevin Brennan hates everyone. Literally everyone. Across the board. At one point, when do you stop hating everyone? I can't be compromised, guys.
You guys like that? Chad finally stands up for himself. He's just like, guys, listen, I don't want other people telling me what to do. Okay. Sure. It's fine.
I was watching this earlier, and I was waiting for him to follow that up with something. I'm like, what?
Yeah, right. Like, want to give an example of that? Just this thing just now. where you finally said, fuck you, Kevin. I'm not turning on Shuli for no reason. Okay. Well, good on you, though, Chad. I appreciate that you did that finally. That's good. And I do like watching Chad bash MLC. The only reason why anyone knows who Chad is.
You look like a clown, Brennan, having the potato and the puppet on and talking shit on me. Guess who's never gotten the link? I'm not having the puppet on here. It's not happening. When I was in the depths of alcoholism, yeah, I had the potato on because I had nothing. I didn't know what I was doing.
You hear that, Cardiff?
You thought there was vodka inside you.
He only did a show with you because he's in the depths of alcohol.
I know. Low
so
blow.
Dramatic. But did you hear what he just said? He's just like, dude, Kevin, that's so pathetic. You would have Tukey on? I would never have Tukey on my show. Meanwhile, I think it was a week and a half ago that this happened. This is Rocco Burrow in the middle. This is the guy who's Tukey hanging out with Chad Zumock. And who's their buddy there?
That's Nick Swartzen. That's
Nick
three
Swartzen.
best friends right there. You can tell from the body language.
Oh, yeah, Nick Swartzen wanted nothing to do with this. Rocco told the whole story about how Chad's like, oh, you guys want to meet Nick Swartzen? Lady KB was there. He's like, come back. I want to show you. He was like so excited to introduce Nick to his friends. These are my friends. This is Rocco and Lady KB. But look at this. They're yucking it up. They're having a blast. And then this retard goes on his show and he goes, I would never send the link to the puppet. But I would introduce him to Nick Swartzen in the green room and invite him back and hang out with him for the weekend when he comes to my show.
He does know that Rocco operates the puppet, right?
Well, that's a good question.
Because that would make sense.
Oh, yeah, maybe that's the disconnect.
Could you imagine Chance watch this right now? I was like, that's who what the
He tricked me.
I'm pretty sure he does. But he's talking more and raging about how MLC sucks, which is fun and enjoyable. But Chad's got this weird thing where he's obsessed with Ray DeVito. He's the only guy in the world who's obsessed with Ray DeVito because you could tell he's thinking about him all the time.
Your show sucks. MLC sucks, period. I said it. I was there out of loyalty. I knew a lot of my audience came from that. You understand? I understand. I built this. I'm unlike Ray DeVito, who thinks he's just fucking some comedic god because he has a couple ball washers around him telling him what to do. I know where it comes from.
Now, Adam, you and I both have this thing where we'll say, oh, that reminds me of Stuttering John, or that reminds me of Aaron Imholt. And people could say, like, oh, you're obsessed with these guys. You keep bringing them up even out of context. That came up, and there wasn't even context involved. He's just like, yeah, I know people know me from MLC, but I'm not Ray DeVito. Like, wait, what? Where did that come from? What do you mean?
Who's Ray DeVito?
No one brought up your ex, Chad. You just
that
came out of nowhere.
No one's talking about Ray DeVito. And what did he say there? Ray thinks he's a comedy god?
Yeah, like,
I've talked
Ray...
to Ray DeVito a number of times. He has very low self-esteem.
Yeah, when I think of endless confidence, I don't think of Ray DeVito.
A comedy god. He's happy to do an open mic on the way back to Cleveland if he can get on.
He's like, they're lonely guys, and he's like, you told me I couldn't be friends with them, so I made enemies with them, and then you made friends with them, and now I can't hang out with anybody.
Holy shit.
Surprise, bitch.
I think you just cracked the code.
He doesn't know what to do or what to feel or think.
I think you just cracked the code. You're right. It's like I've been loyal to Kevin Brennan and hating on people who could be my friends all this time. For what?
I reached out to Kevin Brennan on your show and told half of a story about the time I tested for one of his pilots. Right. I stopped myself from finishing the story because it's very embarrassing to Kevin. And I just left it at that. KB heard about it, and his response was, he's a liar. This never happened. I know it never happened because he said we had a conversation in an elevator, and there are no elevators in Los Angeles, so fuck that guy. That's what he said. And it was like,
he said there's no elevators in Los Angeles?
That's what he said. And it sat there for a little bit, and after a while he went, well, unless it was an HBO, because they have elevators there. Yes, it was an HBO, KB. You fucking... Just their instinct. I just said a story. And he goes, fuck that guy, fuck his story, fuck the whole thing.
Jeez.
That's his response.
Seems like KB knows there's an embarrassing part of that story or something like that.
Definitely.
So, since you asked, the embarrassing part of the story is that I'm testing against one other guy for the role of his brother Neil. It's two guys. Yeah. So it's us, KB, the other producers. We go into the network in the studio, and here's what happened. The guy performed his version of Neil. I did my version of Neil twice. We left. We got in the elevator. KB turned to both of us and he said, I just want you both to know you both did a really good job. And I never forgot that because it was a very odd thing to say. The reason he said it is because the studio and the network saw this thing read out loud and said, you know what, Kevin, we don't want to make it. You can just go home. And that was it.
Oh, that was actually the day he found out it was not being picked up.
This is not Number One Son. This was his second pilot deal at HBO after he won a comedy festival and we're doing it again. And he wrote another show about his family, and they heard it out loud, and were like, we don't even want to make the pilot. Everyone here can go home. And I actually thought
a table read
kind of thing
ended the show.
That ended it. They're like, we don't need to see the pilot. And I just figured I would spare you from saying that.
Oh, wow. That's hilarious.
It was called My Brother Sucks.
Doesn't everyone hate Neil?
Yeah. Everybody hates Neil. Yeah. I thought it was nice of him to say, you guys both did a good job, because I think it was his way of going, don't think you today. Well, you're right, Kevin. That day you didn't. And I don't know why this streak won't end for you.
That's amazing.
I love it.
I know.
I have other question. What year was this, do you think?
Whatever year he won, I think the Aspen Comedy Festival that aired on HBO. He won, and it aired on HBO, and they were like, give this guy a pilot. And everyone's like, no, we've tried. It doesn't work. HBO was like, we're smart. We can do this.
Is this the early aughts, do you think? Was it the 90s?
Oh, it was in the 2000s. I can look it up.
Yeah.
I'll find out.
That's fascinating. So we don't even know about that. There was another potential pilot.
I think he had
what are
3
this guy
pilot
so fucking
deals.
bitter? 3? That's a lot of failure to have to deal with a
par
watch
for the
Chappelle
course.
show get made.
Maybe they just saw me do it and they were like, you know what? We're not interested. But it's gotta suck and it's gotta hurt. And I was just trying to relate to him in some way. And the fact that his response on just the idea of it was like, fuck you and burn every bridge and you're an asshole and you're a liar and you're full of shit. To do what, Kevin? What is this to gain what from this situation? This isn't helping the super chats.
Unless it was
God damn it.
HBO. There is an elevator at
Yeah.
HBO. There's multiple stories at that building. So they do have that. All right, this is more mocking Kevin Brennan. And again, this is really out of character for our buddy Chad Zumock.
But the show is not good anymore. It's just not. Watching videos isn't entertaining. And you're going to come after me and you're going to go after Ken Moska's autistic kid? You're a piece of shit, dude. Period. Garbage, man.
I agree. I'm surprised. This is the guy who was championing Ashley LaRue's book and showing photos from Facebook of kids and all this stuff. And all this is just like, I can't believe you're bringing family into this. I said, good day, sir.
Well, he's an authority on this sort of thing.
Yeah. It's just funny to see the mud shark get soft now. It's just like, Kevin's gone too far, guys. I can't associate myself with that anymore.
I've got mud in my eyes. This is ridiculous.
All right. Chad is fired up in this clip.
Because I'm getting a fucking tug of war over here. People are pissed I'm not shitting on Shuli. You're legitimately livid. You're calling me Kumia's cocks? Fuck off! Fuck you, bitch. There's nobody with more integrity than me in this fucking space. Out of everyone here.
Integrity? What's integrity?
What does he think integrity means? This is just a guy who's just a compulsive liar. Everything he says is just a lie, and then he admits it, and then he says, I was going to tell the truth eventually, and everyone lies, and that's what you have to do in order to get ahead. And now he's saying he has the most integrity of anyone?
Oh, I thought it was charisma. I was way off.
What is the appeal of Chad? Does anyone know? It's not funny. There's no integrity. There's no charisma.
This fucking Pinkman's a real fucking Pinkman.
He's being a real fucking Pinkman on this one. Chad says shit like that, and you're like, wow, do you think that's true? That's what I want to know. I'd love to have him on the
He does. He thinks it's
couch.
true. He thinks it's true.
Would therapy help a guy like this? Or is he too far gone?
No, it might one day, but not now. He's not there yet. Okay. He doesn't. Do you have the bit where he says he threatens to tear down the show? You don't deserve it. Did you pull that clip where he talks about he doesn't need to do this anymore? He doesn't
Oh
need
yeah,
any of you.
We're getting there. Yep.
Great.
I'm glad all of us are following this.
Mhm.
I did not put this out as homework, by the way. This was not in the script.
I do it for pleasure.
But it turns out everyone's
He
been
chose to
following this.
broadcast this at a free will. It's remarkable.
Yes. MLC is dying.
There's a reason why your show has zero growth and you're losing super chatters at a rapid pace. Shout out to Permaseal Finishing. God damn, you're keeping the lights on at the Brennan household. So you're going to talk shit about me with the potato and a puppet who just clowned you. They were literally trolling you the whole time. You're so old and out of it and disconnected, you don't even realize that they're making fun of you while plugging Hackamania.
Good point.
He is making some good points.
Yes. You're starting to pick up what everyone else is putting down there, Chad. Very, very well done. And I love that. I love watching this version of Chad where he can finally say how he really feels about Kevin, because there's so much ass kissing going on all the time. And Melton brings this up quite a bit, that a lot of people try to, they want to please their master when it comes to Kevin Brennan for some reason. And so Chad is constantly bringing guests to MLC. He recently brought on TJ Miller and Sam Tripoli. And he's just like, Kevin, I'm worthy. I can bring on guests to the show. And I guess Chad's a little bit fed up with having to produce MLC for Kevin.
I don't need to use my connections to get them on your goddamn program anymore. It's an embarrassment. Best show you've had all year was you, me, Florentine, and Earl, courtesy of me. You don't even start your show on time. You have no respect for the audience or the paying customers.
Okay, maybe it's not a fake beef.
No, it seems like Chad was right. Like I said, Kevin Brennan probably just went, it's time to change things up. I'll be mad at Chad.
That's how he was coming off.
Right.
Yeah.
But Chad's just like, he's had this in his head for a while.
Oh,
It's like, fuck you, asshole. All the work that I put into this stupid show. And it's funny because if you follow the MLC story arc, Chad was third mic for a long time when it was Bob Levy and Kevin Brennan.
Right.
And Chad was the butt of the jokes.
Yeah, it was
and all the
bag
super
for
chats,
sure.
all the super chats would come in and clown Chad, and they'd read it and laugh, and Kevin would do the kind of thing. And
that was pretty good.
We actually got to a point where Chad was a co-host. It was Chad and Kevin, and they were on the same page. And Chad finally got brought up to the major leagues and was treated like shit. And I think that Kevin could have continued to treat him like shit and pay him $12,000 a year for eternity. But finally, they had this falling out, and Chad has a lot to say about Kevin Brennan, the way he's treated. And I'm popping popcorn, baby. I am here for it.
Yeah, when Kevin's not constantly yelling,
Mhm.
he has that, is that what's happening? I'd love to see his real-time reaction to the potato and the puppet clowning him. He'd be like,
Oh.
yeah.
So they think I'm a loser. They
Yeah,
they don't need me?
that sort of
Their
thing.
shows do bigger numbers than mine? What? Yep.
Send them some money. Send them a PayPal.
Right. I love the fact that Tukey will not accept money from Kevin Brennan.
That's amazing.
Smart move. Well, let's definitely bring up Ray DeVito and all of this.
Fuck off. And fuck Ray DeVito, too. Ray, you wouldn't have anything if it wasn't for me.
That's a crazy thing to say. Ray doesn't have anything. Right. He literally doesn't have anything. And Chad goes, I gave you everything that you have in this business. Like, I've got nothing.
But this is the same Stuttering John thing. Brian Bichetti, where would you be without me?
Yes, right. Ray DeVito is Steve Martin at the end of The Jerk.
Yep.
Where he's got his remote control.
That's all I need.
And his dog. I don't have my dog. I don't need that. And Chad's sitting there taking credit for it. Can you believe I created what we now know as Ray DeVito? Congrats. All right, this is the last clip. I think this is what you're talking about. There's a little victory lap going on, but then Chad starts to talk about and brag about his income and how he doesn't need Kevin Brennan's stupid money.
If it wasn't for me, there would be no Cumbia country. Let's go over the greatest hits.
Please.
Oh, do you remember when I trolled Stuttering John with the fake super chats?
Yeah, I do remember that. It was Shuli's idea. And then Shuli's producers started creating fake Venmo receipts that you were showing John. And then, you know what happened after that? This is fun. Chad came on the Uncle Rico show with me and Anthony Cumia, and we all watched that and laughed at Stuttering John, which is odd because he hates Cumia and me.
Can we back up to Cumia country?
Remember that lie I told that everyone made fun of me for? I did that.
You finally had to tell the truth about.
Also, and I forget this, the Cumia country thing was invented, I think, by Cardiff or Tukey, one of those guys, because he never said they yelled Cumia country. They just said that they were Cumia fans, and then he turned it into Cumia country. And now even Chad remembers it as him saying Cumia country, which is not even what happened, but it's fine.
If it wasn't for me, there would be no Cumia country.
Right.
Let's go over the greatest hits.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, do you remember when I trolled Stuttering John with the fake super chats? I do.
Oh, the whip. Nice.
This isn't my only source of revenue. I have other things. People also send money on the back end. I get Sound Exchange. The money I just made with Nick Sports in the past.
Sound Exchange is a funny one. This has been pointed out by the puppet a few times, so maybe Cardiff. That Sound Exchange is like a Spotify kind of thing for musicians. We like the Isotopes get a check every month for people streaming our music. And it's not an impressive check. I would never claim it as income. It's nothing that anyone would ever brag about. But people listen to us on Spotify and Amazon Music and Apple, and all of it kind of adds up, and we get money from that. He's talking about a similar thing, but for his comedy clips, which the research has been done. There's dozens of listeners a month. There's no money to be made here. It probably isn't even pennies. Probably doesn't even add up to pennies. And that's one of the first things Chad brings up. He's just like, guys, I got lots of income coming in.
So the list is going to drop off a little bit?
Well, then he says this, and I think this is what Adam might have been alluding to earlier, because this is pretty crazy.
I get Sound Exchange. The money I just made with Nick Sports in the past 2 weeks, I'm good for the year. I'm good. Shut it down. If that power never came back on, I wouldn't flinch. Do you understand? If the power never came back on and the show just shut down, I wouldn't flinch.
This is what a poor person would say. He just featured for a headliner, and he made enough money for the rest of the year. How is that possible?
Even if you were raising money for charity, why would you say something like that? That's just telling everybody not to donate to you. You're demanding they do.
Yeah,
well, right.
Exactly.
He's trying to brag that he's got so much money coming in. And he alludes to the fact that he's like inherited money, or there's some other income stream that nobody knows about. He talked about that for a little bit. But I really keyed in on I was just doing gigs with Nick Swartz, and I'm good for the entire year. Okay, I mean, if you just want to eat tuna out of the can, sure.
I don't think he can afford tuna. Maybe he's been hanging around airports. Huh?
What a weird thing to say. And that's a weird brag, too. Like, I don't need Kevin Brennan's money. I just made so much money featuring for a comic that I'm good.
I've got at least $12,000.
Yeah. Like,
and he goes on to say, it never occurs to them how rude and awful it sounds to say, I don't need or want to do this show I'm doing for you.
Right.
We just kind of hoped or assumed as a viewer that maybe you were enjoying it, it would help me enjoy it. And he goes down this list of all the reasons why he doesn't need it. And then he goes, you know why I'm doing it? I'm doing it for people like Detroit Dabbler. I'm doing it for people. And then he starts naming the chatters who donate again.
Who give him
so
money.
It's like, oh, so that's the money. You're back to the money. That's not a noble reason. That's just money.
And it's so true. I remember years ago when we first started checking out Chad, and his whole thing was, dude, if I had the kind of money Anthony has, I would just be on a beach somewhere. I wouldn't be podcasting. I wouldn't be broadcasting to you. It's like, well, why not? Isn't this what you do for fun? Because this was my hobby before it became my job. And I've always said it, when we stop making money on the show, I'll continue to do a show. Because it's what I used to do for no money on Saturdays when I had a full-time job. So this idea that a guy can come on and just be like, I don't even fucking like doing this shit. Like, well, then why am I watching?
I'm not proud of the fact that I like closed the blinds and hid in a corner in paradise so I could take a couple hours out to make fun of Stuttering John. But that's my own issue. It was a choice I made.
Right.
It wasn't a favor or an obligation. It's because I wanted to, and that's
You didn't
my
bitch
thing.
about it. I didn't get a note afterwards saying, Carl, why don't we do a 4-hour show? I'm in Hawaii.
I elected to do it because I wanted
Yes.
to. I didn't want to miss it. It was fun. Why can't your show be fun, Chad?
Speaking of things that people want to do, there are people over there on supertip.gg/WATP who are both supporting and participating in this very program as we speak.
What's up, my nay?
Thanks. Thanks. Adam Davies coming in.
I can't believe Kevin Brennan would mock a young autistic man.
It's shameful, Cardiff. Now let's watch this wheelchair-bound waterhead, Captain Alex, and call him a pedo.
Ask him one question. Everyone knows the rules.
And Carl, if I may, really fast, just so I don't get accused of being a liar, it was the untitled Kevin Brennan project in February of 2006, produced by Brian Myers, Kevin Brennan, and Gary Halverson for HBO. So they have elevators in California, Kevin, and you are.
And
on
it
one.
was a similar premise to his other pilot. It was going to be about the dynamics between him and his younger brother.
Yeah. It was the family thing. It was the same one. You know, they did Louis in many different
That's
forms
true.
before they found the right
That's true.
one. But think about this. Louis is easier to work with.
Yeah.
Louis burned less bridges.
Louis' pilots got picked up. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, good point. Wow. So as recently as 2006, Kevin was still like, I'm going to make it. I'm going to be a big star. God damn. He's so bitter now. The great Brian Johnson. Tell him Steve Dave coming in.
Hey, Ken Mosca's autistic kid, join forces with me to defeat the evil Kevin Brennan.
Bring it on, you slows.
Quadfather can't walk, LOL.
That was funny. That is pretty funny.
Common Madden, $3. KB, you've been ambushed. TM. I think that's going to catch on.
I hope so.
Not mistaken. Mr. Rex has been a member for 2 months. Kev. Hellraiser 69. See you at the Carlson on Saturday, Cousin Ruse. Oh, hey, Adam.
Nice.
Thanks for reminding me. People are going to be traveling into Rochester this weekend because Vinny Paulino is headlining the Rickles Room at the Comedy at the Carlson. CarlsonComedy.com is where you want to go to get your tickets. We'll all be there. Not Adam.
I
Adam's
won't
like,
be.
I just flew to Hawaii. I'm not going to fly to Rochester for a comedy show. All right. Fair enough.
I bought the live stream, but I couldn't get on. I kept getting kicked off. My code didn't work. I tried come over and over again. Nothing.
Come?
Yeah, that's what I was
That's
told.
not going to save you the most money. All right, we'll see you at Hellraiser 69. And please introduce yourself because I want to shake your hand for how you got Howard to react. Joseph Collins, $2. Will someone on the elevator let one rip? Yes, that's going back to the show that someone was doing on an elevator. Laziest Man on Mars, $2. Nebulous. KB's beef with TSN is nebulous. Take these for me, please, Adam.
Tony Baloney, I love the new PDP format. I'm all in for KB and especially Opie content. Hey, Carl, small world. I recently learned that one of my customers I sell arcade parts is close buds with your bro.
Oh, shit. I heard about this at Easter. Listen to this story. So I didn't realize it was Tony Baloney, the great Tony Baloney. That's amazing.
Can you just stop doxing people? Can you just leave it alone?
Bologna. My Baloney has a last name. All right. So my brother and his good friend from high school are involved in this arcade where we grew up. They have an arcade you can go into and you pay a fee and all the games are on free play and you can just play the games. And so my brother's friend is constantly looking for new arcade games and in communication with people in this world. And this person, who I believe is in Utah, heard from my brother's buddy and went, "Oh, you live in Rochester? I listen to a podcast out of Rochester." And he's like, "Oh yeah, which one?" He's like, "Oh, who are these podcasts?" And it just happens to be his friends, brothers. You get the point. Weird comment.
This 64-year-old man's obsession with other people's money and or friends is almost as sad as his being upset over losing a 50-year-old loser co-host. Wow. Labyrinth Mystic have to join KB Patreon because he deletes his videos. That's how you know somebody's proud of their art. Labyrinth Mystic is when they delete it immediately so no one can ever see it again. Labyrinth Mystic again, he gifted 5. Who are these podcast memberships? Thank you, LeBurn.
Thank you very much for gifting memberships. Of course, when you become a member, you get the bonus shows, and you can find them under the membership tab on YouTube. We just did one yesterday with Dick Masterson. We do 2 every single month. And we put out a lot of other content, too, for people who are members. So thank you very much for being here.
Big Daddy Dodo, I own you, Carl.
That $199, you're right. Whatever you want me to do, boss, just let me know.
Zach Hoffman, is KB's way of paying guests as a form of loyalty a weird way of grooming? I don't know. Boys, I feel it's in the ballpark or spectrum of it. I agree with you, Zach Hoffman. That's exactly what it is. And it shows you, because John could not handle it. He can't handle any mental games. He just completely crumbles. All he had to do was pay him $25 less, and John had a meltdown.
And John's very bad at grooming himself, as we listened to on the Kate Meany tapes. Now, I know you had your period, but listen to me, Kate. You got to start giving handies and blowies.
It's the best part of lovemaking.
I swear to God, there's a real conversation where he's trying to tell this woman he called a whore not too long ago how she should be S-ing D's more often on dates. I know.
He said he wants to be a father figure to her because her father passed away. And then when she wouldn't do what he wanted, he said, Kate, if you don't come to Massapequa right now, I'm going to be a ghost. What a fucking asshole.
He really is one of the worst people I've ever met in my life.
Right now, I'm a ghoul.
Yeah. I miss old Howard Stern. Pete Hegseth just sent me the WATP script. Can you have him forward it to me?
He's putting on Signal? Fuck
This
Pete.
is embarrassing.
God damn it. Now I'm all on board with MSNBC.
Joseph Collins, my 7-year-old daughter is autistic. FKB.
FKB.
Laziest man on Mars, Kevin sounds like Fez when he drank and yelled at interns. Ozempig. The best part is when KB says he's getting flop sweats. Window into how he is smart enough to know he was getting trolled, but didn't know what to do. I think that's exactly right. Yeah.
Yeah, he was uncomfortable on his own show as, I don't know what that other guy was doing, but Cardiff and Tukey know their way around a comedy show. So they were, and they also know all the characters, everything that's going on. So they were great on there.
Big Daddy Dodo, gotta run, boys. It's Lens Day on TSN. That's
right.
not having your priorities straight, I think.
That's
not,
true. And you can watch that later. I believe our friend Lucy's going to be on there for Wednesday.
Oh, fantastic.
Am I right about that? But stay here.
Don, sounds like Adam is sticking it to Kevin. I'm just spitting facts. It's up to him how he receives
He's sticking
them.
it to me. He's talking about my HBO pilot that didn't get picked up.
Stewie Felt, KB's elevator thing is right up there with don't quit on Friday or you don't get paid. Yep.
That was that was him not paying Bob Levy because Bob quit the show and didn't get the money for that month yet. It's because I'm just not going to give you the money for that month. It's like, well, yeah, but that's the work you already did.
Yeah.
You don't, okay.
Well, let me ask you guys, why would I lie about it? Even when I just said, all I said was, hey, Kevin, we worked on a thing together. And he's like, no, we didn't. You're a liar. You're full of shit. It's all why? Why? He's so scared and so defensive and so insecure that everyone's going to pull one over on him. He's got to get ahead of it.
So, Adam, you have a career that you can be very proud of. People know who you are. They've seen a lot of the stuff that you've done. So you have no reason to inflate what you've done or pretend stuff. Kevin, I don't think thinks that way. Kevin thinks like, oh, how do I pretend I'm a bigger deal than I am? And so assumes other people do that too. Because when you accuse someone of being a liar, I never accuse people of being a liar until I find out they're a liar. Because I'm not personally a liar, so I don't assume people are lying to me.
Yeah. And there's so many podcasts we've covered that I have personal stories with the people we're covering or the guest. Many of them.
Dish!
Except for Tish. Well, not Tish, but
No, I said Dish. Next time
I will if it's relevant.
What do you got on Tish?
Right, exactly. The point is, I'm not just going to bring it up. If there's something relevant like KB, his character, I'll bring it up. If it has no point in what we're talking about, then it's just me, that's awesome, cool. Like there's nothing to say about it.
Yeah. That just comes off as braggadocious.
Diablo Sandwich. Chad's a worse actor than Sofia Coppola. Work.
Okay.
Dad.
All right.
She's very bad in Godfather 3.
That's another angle on it.
Alan Dempsey, we have a record store in Tampa called Sound Exchange. I thought he was talking about a part-time job.
That's also possible. Be making more money than his comedy is making for him.
Ape Shit Media. CZ doesn't need anyone's money except credit cards.
That's a great point. He's just like, do you guys understand how much money I have? Like, from the gym?
Arcanistoff's theorem. Why is this my life? Why can't I leave the DV? Help.
Preaching to the choir, buddy.
Never leave the DV. It's
I have
scary.
the same questions.
It's scary out there. All right, guys, thank you so much for supporting the show. We've got an Opie segment coming up. We also have a game, 2 minutes with Tom Myers, coming up. But I want to start off with our buddy Opie.
Ba, 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 ba.
When we last left Greg Opie Hughes, he was down in Atlanta bitching about this wedding he had to go to.
I know.
Nonstop this past week. Oh, this week, it's crazy. I got to go to a wedding. There's Easter. What else? No, that's it.
And the bitching continues.
And the bitching, yes, thank you. Producer Chris read the script ahead of time. He knows. The bitching continues.
And I just want to add that I know he flew JetBlue. I know that he flew coach. I know what time he left. I know how he got to the airport. And I know who picked him up. And I know what his tummy was like on the ride back from the flight. I also did a couple flights during this time we last saw each other. I don't have to bring it up. There's nothing interesting there, and there was nothing interesting in his story.
Chris was in a vehicle with Vinnie Paulino for 48 hours, and I haven't heard one story from it.
See, that's a live stream I would pay for.
Good morning, Nick. I was in Atlanta for my nephew's wedding. Then I flew back for Easter. Then I had to jump in a car to come out here to get a few things done at the house. Oh, my God. Ken Mosca, good morning to you, brother. What's up, Deb? What's up, Jamie Lynn?
So I just thought that was fun that Ken Mosca is also showing up on this show. I wonder how Kevin Brennan would feel about that. Oh, now Ken Mosca is wishing Opie a good morning. So that guy's making the rounds. So Opie starts off the show. That's the very first thing. Bitching about the schedule.
Mm-hmm.
Guys, I had to fly to my nephew's a brain surgeon's wedding.
Mm-hmm.
Hang out with my buddy who lives in Atlanta, who I don't get to catch up with very often. I got to stay at his house. And he also, I'm not going to play this video because it's so boring. They do a tour of Atlanta together. That's a live stream that Opie did.
Wow.
And then I had to come home, and my wife had arranged all the things for Easter, and I just hung out with the family for Easter. And then, listen to this. I had to drive from the high-rise apartment I live in on the Upper West Side of Manhattan all the way to the Hamptons, where I live on the beach, and then come here. So it's tough. I'm sure you guys have your problems too, but it's not great.
So the drive was the only thing he actually had to do because everything else was already in the past.
Correct.
So it was a beautiful drive.
He'll never stop bitching. Yeah. He'll just never stop bitching about this schedule that he has.
And my tomato plants won't grow.
Oh, you saw this one too. He's got the tomato plants behind him and it's too cold out.
Idiot.
All right, let's start with the first topic. Because as you know, Opie's a guy who preps his show. He's got his talking points ready to go. And he wants to come out of the gate and hit his first topic and really lean into it.
Starting to think that the Pope dying is a big deal. I had no idea this Pope thing was a big deal. Supposedly we gotta we gotta put our flags at half mast for the Pope.
The Pope.
Should we do that for the Pope? Trump's saying we got to do that for the Pope.
If I had nothing to say about the Pope, and I don't, I might do things like, and then they're saying the Pope, the Pope.
Did you say he's auditioning for a radio job? Because could you imagine WABC, we're live at the scene at the Vatican where we found out the Pope just died. Take it away, Opie. This is like a big deal or something.
You're making a big deal about the Pope dying? Like, Opie, how many times have a Pope died in your lifetime? I'm sure quite a few. They make a big deal about it every time. It's big news.
Even if you don't know the religion of the Pope, the only thing you know about the word Pope is that it's like a big deal and people care about it.
Right, yes. So then he brings up the Facebook group that he has, because one of the chatters in his chat room he knows about from the Facebook group, the Pod Squad, I believe they used to be called. I don't know if they still are, but they were always the Pod Squad.
You're a struggling actor. I know that much, Andy. And he's got a movie out, and he was very proud and talking about it in our private Facebook group. You can join the private Facebook group. You go to my regular Facebook, which is Opie Radio Fans, and then you can subscribe for a few bucks. Helps the cause. And Andy was talking about his new movie in there, all right?
Wow.
Yeah.
Opie's Facebook group costs a few bucks to join, and he doesn't say, that just like covers the cost or something like that. No, it goes towards the cause. It helps him out. He needs people to sign up for his private Facebook group to support his lifestyle, is what it sounds like. That's what he just said, anyway.
He absolutely did. And I would like to add, I might be taking it personally, but he's jealous of this guy. He's not a struggling actor. He's an actor with a movie out. You're the struggling radio guy without a show. This guy's got a gig.
Yeah, he's actually
not
promoting something. He's like, oh, he's struggling. He's promoting this thing. He's like, no, that's what you do when you have something to promote.
Why would you say it like that?
Good
John does
point.
the same thing. You see on the last Stuttering John episode, somebody compliments Clearwater Chad, and John has to cut the guy off before he can finish the compliment to bring everything back to him. Same instincts.
Well, so we just heard that Opie needs people to sign up for the private Facebook group to help the cause. And he was on Gebhard's show, the Live from Gebhard show on tax day. And this is an interesting thing that we learned.
Welcome to tax day. Did you get your taxes filed?
Deferred. I'm good.
Oh, you defer.
I got extension.
I'm getting
every year.
I'm getting I'm because I don't make a lot of money these days. I'm getting $3,000 back.
Hey, that's something.
Yeah, let's have a party.
Let's
man.
have a party.
Wow.
Opie on tax day is getting $3,000 back. What? I don't even know.
Did you say 3,000?
That's how much it takes for me to come on the show.
And he was smiling so wide. You never see him happy. He was proud.
He's so excited about that. Yeah. So that's interesting. Let's have a party. Let's have a party. Okay. You guys ready for a hot take on J.D. Vance?
Mm-hmm.
Now, as you know, J.D. Vance was talking to the Pope right before the Pope died. The Pope. And so Opie is going to bring his insight and his angle in on this.
He's looking at a very, very sick old man, and he was thinking he was seeing the vibrant young Pope, and he was looking for some of that magic. And Pope Francis is like, no, there's no magic. I'm a man just like you, JD. Can you leave me alone? Here's a blessing. And the Pope Francis is just giving some weird blessing.
Is that what happened?
Yes. Opie just said.
Opie's got a whole thing he's figured out in his head about this interaction and how J.D. Vance was thinking about it and feeling about it, what was actually happening.
And great impression.
Good stuff. Yeah, I feel like I was there.
Mm-hmm.
Now,
I wish the Pope did talk like that. I'm just one man.
Here's your blessing. Now, one of the things that's a staple of Opie's show these days is weather talk. And I know you guys are thinking, like, why would we talk about the weather? Because it's fascinating.
Yes.
It never gets old, and Opie really crushes it.
But this weather doesn't feel like it's 6 weeks away from us moving out here. That's for sure. It's 48 degrees. 48 degrees. What? It's almost May. It's almost May. Come on, man. Come on, man. Ron, what the hell's going on with the weather? Is it climate change? You can't say global warming because when it's this cold out here, people will go, "Where's your global warming now?"
Good stuff.
Yeah.
I like that he brought that amazing conversation about the weather.
Yeah.
And then seamlessly brought in his guest and just continued that conversation going.
He knows how to build.
He does. Yeah, that was well done. I'm sure Ron's going to have something funny to say about that. Adam, you know this global warming thing, but it's only 48 degrees in the Hamptons in mid-April.
He goes to the same school of broadcasting that Quad does, because Quad would ask me a question and then explain what my answer is supposed to be for a couple minutes afterwards, and then, leave it up to me to remember what he was even talking about.
Right. Pretty good stuff. So Ron is on, and Ron is very proud of himself. He's got a new piece of equipment, and he's ready to be a professional finally on the Opsters show.
I feel like, do you notice like the sound is better or the clarity is better?
Of what?
Our connection. I'm using a brand new device.
Oh, you do? Oh, unfortunately, your video is way better. Unfortunately.
So here's the deal. I actually have the most technically advanced smartphone in existence right now. I am talking to you with the Pixel 9 Pro XL. What do you think of that? Dude.
He sounds like shit.
Yep.
It was the first thing I picked up on. I'm like, what is wrong with this audio? He's like, can you believe how good this is?
I'm talking to you on a Coleco.
He calls the Pixel 9 XL Pro the greatest device to ever be invented. This guy falls for marketing, I would imagine.
He did one thing right. He knew that you're supposed to podcast in front of a wood-paneled wall.
That's true. He's killing it. And have some light on your face rather than just behind you. I can actually see what Ron looks like and see the facial expressions that he's making, unlike Opie. It's like a Star Wars villain.
Did you notice that Opie has to be broadcasting in front of like an expensive backdrop? It has to be New York City. It has to be this Hampton Beach. It has to be 55 floors above the ground. And his friend Buzzy, he was willing to go all the way to Atlanta and broadcast there because the guy had a really nice pool and landscaped lawn. When you show off opulence but hide your face, it makes you seem weak and scared.
Yes. And also, in France, there was a revolution. These are the people they targeted. It's people like Opie. All right, so Opie then admits that, while Ron looks great on his new Pixel 9 XL Pro or whatever it is, Opie, not so much.
After you babbling like that about your new phone, which, by the way, has a much better video than my GoPro camera that I have set up. I don't understand this. Maybe I need more light on the situation. Man, I wish I was at your house because I would throw your new phone in the toilet.
Good
I believe you.
Good instincts, Opie. Never stop being the shock jock that fucks with people. And he goes on to explain he can't even afford this phone, but he got it through Verizon for $300, and normally it's $1,500. He doesn't have that kind of money. And Opie's first instinct is just like, yeah, I'd love to like destroy that thing in front of your face. See how you feel about that. But I also love the fact that finally Opie goes, why don't I look very good? Oh, maybe because I don't have the lighting correct. Yes, Opie, you don't have the lighting correct. I couldn't believe when we were watching him at Buzzy's house and they're outside of the backyard in front of the pool. And then we see the reflection in that one frame
of the ring light.
And we see Opie brought the ring light with him to Atlanta and set it up outside as if that was going to do anything.
I had it in my winter coat.
Yeah.
I could imagine with his wife just being like, you're bringing the ring light?
He set it up behind the sun so there'd be no shadow.
Smart. Good move. But Opie explains why he actually appreciates the fact that he's kind of not lit up and you can't really see his face.
It must be because it's really bright behind me. It's okay because I got tired face.
Don't hide your face, man. Don't hide your face.
I'm not trying to hide my face, but I got tired face. That's for sure. I flew down to Atlanta for my nephew's wedding. Then I flew back. I was, traveling all day, and then I had to be a dad for Easter. Well, I mean, I like being a dad, but you know what I mean.
Ugh, and then right into more bitching. I got tired face, but you know why? Because I did 2 things this week. 2.
If you asked me my schedule for this week, I would not know it as well as I know his.
I
he
know.
said it so many times. It's not an excuse. And by the way, he said, you can't hide your face. He said, I'm not hiding my face. I just look tired, which is why you're hiding it. Opie,
Yes.
stop. Stop it. Grow up.
He's doing this on purpose. And he even knows, he's like, maybe because there's a lot of light behind me. Right. All the natural light is behind you. If you would just turn around, I know you want to show off the beach. We all know you live at the beach. If you would just turn around and all that natural light was coming at you, and it wouldn't be sun in his eyes. It's cloudy. It's, it's fine. It would look fantastic.
He will not broadcast without it because then we'll realize that he has no value. His value is in reminding you that he made a lot of money in the past. And if he doesn't have that on display to remind you, he knows you're just going to see some guy with a CB radio talking to truckers and saying their names in funny voices.
I see that already.
Mm-hmm.
I'm already on to him, Adam. I'm wise to this.
Yeah.
So let's get into the conversation about religion. I can't think of 2 guys who are better equipped to do this. We have Opie, who doesn't know anything about anything, and then Ron, I guess, is Jewish. And so this is good stuff right here.
And by the way, why do your holidays coincide with our holidays, but it's a shittier version of our holidays?
Wait a minute, hold on.
Christmas is great on our end. Hanukkah, not so much. The Easter's great on our end. We got a bunny and we got treats and candy all over the goddamn place. And you got Passover where you're eating flatbread and looking for dirty money.
Well, it's tasty money. Here, first of all, you better thank us, because without us, there is no fucking Easter. Because Jesus, wait, hold on. Is Easter the one where he rises from the grave or something?
Yeah, something like that.
Is that Easter?
Holy shit. Hey guys, next topic. If I'm the producer, I'm in Opie's ear going, next topic. You guys don't know anything about what you're talking about. Is Easter the one where Jesus, I don't know, maybe.
There's a bunny, okay?
Why does the money have to be dirty? I just got it. Why? Why? I'm sorry. All right, I'm done.
So these guys are both functionally retarded and shouldn't be having any conversations. But this remind me of something I saw recently. John LaJoie, who I knew about this guy going back to my E-Bombs World days, but then he became Taco on the League. Very funny guy. He's been on the internet making videos for a long time. He's recently been playing with AI and started up this podcast starring Jesus Christ.
No.
Yeah, this is kind of fun.
He's back.
So some people think that there's weird beef between us, but I got to say, I love everyone. That's kind of my thing. So that includes you, and I got nothing but love for you, my friend. Welcome to the podcast.
Well, thank you for having me. And I have no beef with you. To be honest with you, before you reached out to have me on the podcast, I'd literally never heard of you. So why would I have beef with you? It makes no sense.
Totally. Yeah. So wait, did you say you've never heard of me?
Oh, no. I don't mean it in an insulting way. I just mean I don't really listen to podcasts. I'm not on social media. I don't watch much TV. A lot of people are talking about White Lotus right now. I have no idea what that is. I don't even know what streamer it's on. Are you an actor? Ooh, are you on White Lotus?
No, I'm not on White Lotus. So wait, so you're saying that over all the years of doing what you do on Easter, which arguably is a bit of a lighter lift than what I had to do, you're saying over all that time you've never once heard mention of Jesus?
No, I know what Cheez-Its are. I love Cheez-Its. Dude, I had a weed gummy on my way over here, and I would crush a box of those right now.
Cheez-Its are great, but that's not... there just aren't that many things that people associate with Easter, There's you, and then there's me. I've heard of you.
Well, yeah, I'm the Easter Bunny. Everyone knows Easter Bunny.
Oh, boy.
Anyway, that was kind of fun. Just the animation of this, and it's a funny premise. Jesus and the Easter Bunny having a conversation on their podcast.
It reminds me of the Bill Burr, Billy Corgan run-in.
A little bit, yeah. Wait, what? You?
You?
All right, so this is where Opie is auditioning for the radio again. He pulls up a chat, and there's a word in there he does not want to use because he has to show he doesn't use these types of words so he can get back on the mainstream.
Well, Goody Two Shoes
fuck.
says, don't let me read this, Ron. Right? Ron eats sardines right out of the can like a R-word seagull with zero shame. Do you eat the sardines right out of the can there, Ron?
Did you see how flustered Opie got? Because the guy wrote like a retarded seagull. He goes, like a guy. You'd think he would saw the N-word or something. You had to figure out how to say.
But right on the heels of, let me read this, Ron.
Yeah.
Yes. Because he knows Ron will just read the words.
And he wants to come off like he's auditioning for a terrestrial radio gig. And just so you know, everyone in radio, that's how he's going to handle something on the fly.
Yep. Let's go to commercial. Be back after this. So then Opie brings up that his wife and in-laws have one flaw, and that is that they eat sardines. So he says that to Ron. And Ron has the dumbest question ever.
But what do you mean your in-laws? What are you talking about? Your wife's family?
I guess I said it. I don't know if you're listening this morning. I said the in-laws and my wife, they got one flaw, just one, and that's that they eat sardines right out of the can.
What do you mean in-laws? You talking about your wife's family? What? You don't know what Easter is? You don't know what in-laws are? Why are you on his show? Why are we having a conversation with this guy? He's out of it.
He can't read the chat, but sometimes he gets rid of that stuff real fast.
Oh, yeah, you notice
he can
that?
when he wants to.
Yeah.
Oh, there was something about Ron that wasn't very pleasant.
Ron is terrible. Yeah. And I can't remember who was talking about this now. Might have been Anthony. I think it was Anthony Cumia now I think about it. Where he's going, okay, so Ron is obviously a functional R word. You could be taking advantage of that if that's what you want to do, displaying how dumb he is. But Opie can't even present Ron in a way that's interesting. You're just having a conversation with a guy who can't have a conversation about anything. So
Can't
there's
have
really
a conversation.
no purpose.
The first question he asked him was, hey, you represent the Jewish religion and tell us what it's all about.
Yeah.
And he's like,
how come your holidays are kind of similar to our holidays? I don't think Ron knows the answer to that. I'll be honest with you, Opie.
And I hope he doesn't, because he doesn't need to be representing anybody right now.
Right, yes, please don't.
We have enough stereotypes on the screen right now. We don't need to push it that far.
All right, so Opie starts making huge assumptions about pretty innocuous chat, not even a super chat, just a chat that comes in.
When it comes to politics, you're an absolute clown, but I love you, Annoyed Guy 2000 says.
This is what I learned with.
All right, so all he says was, when it comes to politics, you're an absolute clown, but I love you. Now, Opie's going to determine everything that's behind that with this guy.
That comes from people that are drinking the Kool-Aid and they see the Trump, right? It's a Trump guy. I don't have time. If you like Trump, that's fine. I got plenty of people around me that like the Trump. That's more than fine. I don't give a crap. Yeah. What I do give a crap about is that you can't see any fault in the guy. Everything he does is glorious. He should be the next goddamn pope if you want to know the truth.
This is why Opie is a clown when it comes to politics, because he sees a comment like this that could mean a lot of different things. And he goes, oh, you just love Trump and everything he does. That's not what he said at all. That's not how I would have taken it. And I listened to the whole conversation. It's not like there was all this Trump bashing leading up to this either. There wasn't. So it's just like, it's out of nowhere. What?
Yeah. He brought it up out of nowhere. And this is what he does anytime anyone mentions any just critical opinion of him. He refuses to believe anyone could possibly hold it, and they're all being blackmailed or held for ransom by opposing forces that are keeping Opie down. So, don't change any behavior, Opie. Just steer the course, and hopefully it'll all go away.
Opie is a guy who sees a lot of flaws in our current president, President Trump. I think that you are a clown when it comes to politics. Wrap your head around that one. Can you believe that? It's not even that I'm disagreeing with you about Trump per se. It's that I think you know nothing about the issues and can't explain anything and have no passion towards it.
And the sheer ego for this guy to think that what Trump is saying is turning people against you, like Trump is thinking about you and your type. Shut the fuck up.
What I love about Opie and Ron, and I've been obviously a little critical today on the show, but their chemistry. That's something that you can't force something like this to happen. It just happens naturally.
She's more man than girl. Look at her sitting down like a sissy,
She's
go ahead.
Sorry, Rod.
Good stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Ron really is just the worst. I don't know how Opie keeps inviting him on his show. How lonely is this guy? Here's some more examples of great chemistry because we want to know who the man is, of course.
Richie Rich is here. Morning. Who the man? 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 You know what, Ron? I'm going to give it to you today. Richie Rich comes to us every morning with who the man. Who do you got? Is Pope Francis the man for living a decent life? Is J.D. Vance the man for asking for good health for the Pope, and then the Pope dies 2 hours later? Is it who else is in the news? Is it the price of gold? Maybe the price of gold is the man today because that's going through the roof because the stock market is so unstable. Who do you got for who the man today, Ron?
This is going back to your example about Quadfather asking you a question and then telling you what the answers are.
It consists of, I'm running out of steam. Can you please talk now? And then you just
Adam, what did you think about that clip? Did you think that like Opie really sucks? Did you think that like Ron was trying to answer, but he wasn't able to? Did you think that like maybe Opie should give a little bit of breath, a little bit of air so that people can chime in with other, and it doesn't matter. All right, moving on.
Yeah. And like Brian,
demand might just be topics.
Right. What is this who the man? Is it climate change? Is it 48 degrees? Who is the man?
I don't know, but he looks like he's chopping up lines again, this guy. Like, he can't be bothered to listen. These hosts drive their co-hosts to cocaine addiction.
Mm-hmm.
For once, I don't blame him.
All right, last clip I have on here because Opie brings up a good point.
All right, listen, Rod, you're just babbling. You're just a babbling fool.
Babble, babble, babble.
Well said, Opie. I'm glad you finally realized that your co-host is a babbling fool. He needs to shut the fuck up.
That's what he wants from him. He is so sensitive about Jim and Anthony and anyone else being mean to him or not showing him the respect he deserves and given just the slightest bit of power. All he wants is someone to shit on. But unfortunately, you're so bad at this, Opie, that you pick like guys that aren't great, but no one's like, let's shit on him. It'll feel good. Like, they're just doing you a favor. And that's what we see. We see these guys being nice to you that you're taking advantage of. Very much like our friend Stuttering John.
Yeah, Ron is a slow. I'm pretty sure. We're not all trying to pile on Ron. I'll point out some faults here and there, but you're right. Opie needs that control over the situation. Zach Hoffman coming with $5. Guys, go with me on this. His wife and kids rotate from house to house, parked car at Target to nephew's wedding because he has CTE. LOL.
They rotate him from house to house.
I see.
What is CTE?
Isn't CTE a brain injury?
I don't know.
Let's go to Ray.
BMID says, that's all Opie ever did to contribute to the show.
You're absolutely right. And that's why he doesn't work on his own and why he doesn't understand why he worked with those people. And if he knew what he was good at, he would understand that it was a group effort that he contributed to. And that's what he does. Not the smart comedy, not making fun of people, being the butt of the joke.
The lighting detracts from Purple Mouth. Oh my gosh. I didn't pull the other stream that he did from the apartment, but boy, his mouth. It's not great.
And he keeps denying it.
I know. People keep bringing it up, and he gets very upset about it.
Oh, right. It'll quiet everyone if you get upset about it.
Tony Baloney, $2 says, thanks for doxing my location. Haha, JK. Oh, everyone's going to find Tony Baloney in Utah now. I fucked it up. I'm the doxing king over here. You know, I'm going to bring on somebody whose name may or may not be Annie. I hope I'm not doxing anyone. What's up, Annie?
I can't believe you've done it again, Carl. You're out of control.
I'm the worst. I really am. I don't know why you guys put up with me. Andy, how you doing?
Great to see you. Thanks for having me.
Good to see you as well. We're going to see you soon in Las Vegas. You excited about that?
I'm excited and very nervous, but mostly excited.
What are you nervous about? Losing all your money?
I've never flown, and I've never been that far away from home.
Oh.
Like every time I drove like to a trip or something, I've had the car. So if I wanted to bail, I could just get back in the car and drive home. Not as easy when you take a flight. You have to wait until your return flight.
Wow, you've never flown anywhere before. This is exciting.
Yep.
What
Time to
airline
grow
are
up, I
you on?
guess. Southwest for my first flight, and then I think Frontier for the return.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we're on Southwest too, which I'm not a fan of, to be honest. If I'm going to tell the truth. I just realized how boring I was. All right, moving on. It's time to play a fucking game.
Wait, what's the weather going to be like there?
I think it's going to be warm, Adam.
Uh-huh.
It's going to be warm.
Let's get into it.
Let's play a game. God damn you.
It's time for everyone's favorite new game show. 2 Minutes with Tom. What do you say, ladies and gentlemen? And Adam Busch. Are you ready to find the bomb? Playing 2 minutes with Tom.
I was getting kind of, I don't know if trolling is the wrong word. So someone thought that I had trash talked Kevin Brennan to a couple of other comedians, and so they kept going after me. You said this, and that, and so, I didn't. No, all I said was, "Can you provide proof?" And just said, "You said it. This happened. Like, show me a clip. Show me something where I
Play the
said
clip.
anything. Like if I disparage somebody." Because like especially with live streaming and podcasting and whatnot, you say a lot of things, and sometimes you don't forget you forget some of them. But I usually try and be real. I try and be truthful, unless I'm specifically making a joke. And you can usually tell I'm joking because
what did Tom say? Here are your choices.
Yay.
Number 1, the laughs. Sometimes I even make myself laugh. B, I'll tug on my left earlobe.
That's good.
Next, I'll give you a wink or a nod. 4, I'll have a certain tone in my voice. And lastly, the Tom Myers smirk. 2 minutes with Tom.
Okay, well, I know it's not B. That would be too clever for him to come up with on the fly. So, gosh, I really like a couple of these. I'm going to go with number 1, the laughs. I think that he's going to say, I'm joking because I even crack myself up sometimes. What do you think, Adam?
I'm going to go with 4, a tone in my voice.
Yeah.
And because there's no difference when he tells the punchline and when he talks. It's all the same tone. And I love his use of the phrase trash talked, It's just trash.
Yes.
You graffito tagged my car.
It's a joke because I turned Scottish?
Yeah.
Andy, what do you think?
I want to think it's the Tom Myers smirk. I don't think he does that, but I think
like
he
that.
thinks he does that.
That was my other one that I was going to go with. I like the Tom Myers smirk. Producer Chris?
Yeah, I liked them all. I went with 1. I can't believe you went with it also.
Okay, let's go. It's never 1, by the way.
I know.
It's something I keep track of.
Yes.
Cardiff never makes it the first one.
I thought of that too.
Yep. Here we go.
But, I usually try and be real. I try and be truthful, unless I'm specifically making a joke. And you can usually tell I'm joking because I'll have a certain tone in my voice.
Damn it.
when I do
Nice.
it.
Is that Adam's
That is
victory
Adam.
right
Yeah.
there? Nice job, Adam. See, that's why number 1. It's never fucking number 1. Just miss number 1.
That's right. It never will be 1, will it?
I would love to
went
hear,
ahead-
well, in his mind, what he thinks the difference is in those two voices.
Yes.
What his comic voice sounds like. Is it
I
like,
think it's what I said in the Scottish
the
accent
Scottish.
thing.
yeah, it's like Jimmy Durante or some big thing in his mind.
Tone in my voice when I do it.
When I do it?
So I went ahead and
Stop doing it now.
I just listened to this guy comment over and over and over and over again. And then this morning, the little comment thread and replies were gone, and the same person had said, "Oh, Tom, I want to apologize. It wasn't you. It was Tom Cassidy who was talking about Kevin Brennan." Because I think Tom Cassidy used to be a co-host on MLC, I think, and said he would never work with Kevin again. So wrong, Tom. Wrong, Tom, but the guy made it right, and he apologized. And like, listen, if you come up to me and admit, "Hey, I was wrong, I was mistaken," you know what? I'll give you a pass. Despite my reputation on Reddit, I'm not a vindictive dick. I'm not an asshole. I'm actually pretty chill, as I hope you've seen in some of these.
Yeah, despite what people are saying, I don't like to dox people. I'm not a prick.
I just want to meet him and say I was wrong. I thought you were funny.
And no PDFs work here. I just want to make that clear. None
Right. Thank you.
Yes.
work here.
Remember when Senator John had that on his scroll going
I do.
across? What a must have been a proud mom that day.
When you say that, it makes me think, that PDFs have or currently work
Yes,
there. And when you talk about how chill you are, it makes me think people might be accusing you of not being so chill.
5 days without
Yeah, right.
his background.
Did any of you guys catch? I think it was on Doom's channel. There was a whole pro wrestling video that came out, and it was me versus Tom.
Oh wow!
And like we come out to our hype up music and everything, and Tom whooped my ass. I didn't even get like one hit on him. I just got my ass. Like usually pro wrestling, like one guy's winning, then the other guy's winning. Some drama going. Tom just wasted me.
I think I like wrestling now.
It's very upsetting. I'll play it for you when we're done.
Yeah.
On some of these streams.
This episode has been brought to you by Hackamania.com. Go to Hackamania.com right now and use promo code CUM to save 10% on your tickets. Remember, ladies and gentlemen, CUM stands for Cardiff's Ultimate Money Savers. There's some things money can't buy. For everything else, there's CUM. Sit, Eugene, sit. Good dog.
I like that it came out that Cardiff devours cum or whatever it is. I don't remember what the original story is. And Cardiff's like, I'm just going to run this into the ground and make it so unfunny that no one's going to want to talk about me and cum ever again. Pretty good strategy, actually.
Can't beat this.
Yep, pretty smart. Guys, what have we done today?
All.
We've done it all. That's correct. Just you're reading the script there, I see. Very good.
It says all.
We saw Adam Busch on the BYB podcast. That was fun. Adam did a great job there representing WATP. We watched a guy podcast from a busy elevator for an hour and 10 minutes. Tim Dillon announced that he wanted to make his Netflix special, My Son's Pussy. We watched MLC and Chad Zumach have a huge falling out. They've broken up yet again.
Those two.
Who wrote the book of love?
Will they, won't they?
Opie Radio. We checked in on him, complaining again about his nephew's wedding. We played a little 2 minutes of Tom Myers. You know what that means? It's time for everyone's favorite part of the show.
The teaser. Next week's teaser.
I feel the speed of the Dabbleverse makes it very difficult for me to figure out what we're going to do on the next show. But please keep sending in your potential shows to review in our Discord or email them to me. We have a whole channel in the Discord that is review suggestions. It's free to join, whoaretthese.com. Get the link to it. Go in there. If you find something that would be good for the show, please put it in there. I will say that we are going to have the great Lucy Tightbox joining us in studio on Saturday, and we'll be covering Dabbleverse related things and probably some other nonsense because Lucy likes to get into YouTube drama and things like that.
It's been a while since we had Lucy's Losers on.
Yes, Lucy's Losers is always a fun topic of discussion. So join us for that. And of course, in the meantime, you can join Annie on insanity.com.
That's correct. Thank you very much. I'm going to be coming back with my live stream soon to start Red Dead 2. Somebody bought me that, so I'm going to start the long trek of that game so I can have Husey back on the show.
Beautiful. Well, who doesn't want to see Husey back on the show and his gout foot?
Oh, whoa.
Everyone's looking for that. Adam, anything to plug?
Yeah, please invite me to your podcast. I would love to be a guest on your podcast if you have one. I won't be mean, and I'm not looking to embarrass anyone. I just like talking to people with different points of view and then sharing it with my friends. So if you have a podcast that needs a guest, I would love to be on it.
I just realized something, Adam.
Oh, God.
I think you're using the wrong photo for your backdrop because I'm seeing the ring light in the WATP.
You know, I set up a light to try and make it look good and make my face be seen. So I'm not making, and here you are.
I'm sorry. I just realized that. I went, wait a second. Yeah, that's amazing. So Adam will go on your show. Are you listening, MLC? Or listening, Chad Zumach? I'd love to see you on those guys' shows.
I would love to talk to you, Kevin. We could reminisce about the old days.
Right. About the elevator rides. All right, let's check out some voicemails, and then we'll get out of here. Guys, thank you very much for tuning into the show, for being here with us. We appreciate all of you.
Hey, Carl. Can we review?
Oh, shit, I didn't even ask if you have reviews for us, Annie. Skipped right to voicemails. Are there any reviews?
I do. I do have one from April 14th.
Thank you. I'm sorry. You're the review girl, and I brought you on just to play a game. You're not the game girl.
Well, you know, I do lose at the games all the time,
That's
so,
true.
you know.
And I lose at the reviews, so let's go.
The title is Weirdos, and it says, "You weirdos keep pulling me in deeper. Most people I tell about your show don't talk to me anymore."
That is a 5-star review. I've ever heard one.
Unfortunately, yeah, it's 5. I mean, I'm sorry that
perfect.
happens to you, buddy. It happens
Thank
to
you
me
very
too.
much. Thanks for the review. Appreciate it.
Hey, Carl. Can we review, I'm not going to do it, but can you review Kevin's Walking Dead podcast that he used to do? I remember whenever he was talking about leaving the show, 6-7 years ago now or whatever, he was saying that he was going to keep doing that solo show by himself that recapped The Walking Dead. Did he finish the series, or did he just stop doing that? I never listened to it, but love to hear y'all make fun of it in jest. I know it kind of breaks your rules, though, but whatever. It's Kevin. Fuck him. Bye.
Oh, my God. I put a note for myself, and I forgot. So my first co-host on the show was me and Kevin doing the show. And at the same time we launched WATP, he launched another show where he talked about The Walking Dead, and it had a great title. And I'm blanking on what the name of his show was. But it was a really good title because it was going to be a recap of whatever popular show was on at the time. He's big into TV. So at the time he was doing Walking Dead, but I doubt it exists in the world anymore. And I definitely wouldn't make fun of it if it did. I like Kevin. It's hard to do a show by yourself. I wouldn't recommend it. Chad.
Hey, Carl, this is Susan from Libya. You were talking about Haley, the Hawk-Tua girl. I don't know her fucking name. You talked about the Hawk-Tua girl the other day and how she was on with some guy, some football playing video game guy, and he was talking about his friends. Damn it, Carl, why do you have to bring in these people that no one knows? I don't know about some 25-year-old soccer playing guy who makes rap songs on the internet. Like, fuck that. I don't know that. Talk about Opie more. Just do more
exactly.
Opie segments if you're going to bring in these people. And you're talking about his friends. And it's like, who knows any of these people? How old are you? I also noticed that last episode, you kept beeping the word retard, but then at one point you guys couldn't stop saying fag. So it's like, I just don't understand the consistency there. It's like, why would you bleep retard but not fag? So just, I hope you retarded fags can help me out here.
All right.
Thanks, Carl. This seems like it's a little long.
All right, a couple thoughts on that. First off, if you don't know who KSI is, I can't help you. There are big celebrities in the world. Maybe you have to be younger to understand, but I thought that Hawk-Tua with KSI was kind of a big deal. How
Two
she
things.
fumbled that.
He did the classic, Haley Hawk-Tua or whatever her name is. If you want to do the whatever her name is, you can't say it correctly first and
Good
then
point.
pretend you don't know it.
Right.
Yep. And there was another point. What was it?
The other point I was going to make is, so what happened was this R-word controversy.
Yes.
Jake Hudson sent me a note and said, I wish you wouldn't use the R word in the title of your YouTube video because I'm autistic and I take offense to that. And so I said, okay, we're going to clean up our act. Well, I didn't realize that the editor decided to start bleeping us saying retard on the show as a joke. Oh. And so that's why everyone's complaining about like, oh, you're bleeping out words. I was like, that was the joke. But people took it very seriously as if we're now censoring the show. I guess the editor, I don't know. Maybe it didn't backfire. Maybe that's what he was going for, is piss everyone off, get them mad at me.
It does explain where that was coming from. But I wanted to add that I love how he's like, stop talking about these international superstars like KSI and talk about people that we all know, like Ron the waiter.
Right.
Household names.
I can't win. Adam, you see what I'm up against?
Who's
like
a
Bobo.
retard?
Thank you for your call, though. I appreciate it.
Hey, Shauna Ray wanted to make sure that she got the part of the Quran that talks about child brides and her religion. Call me back.
Yeah, that was funny when Shauna Ray was just like, my religion is a little piece of every religion. I get a little bit from Islam and a little bit from Christianity, a little bit from Judaism. But that's not a religion where you can't do that. It doesn't even make sense. But I like that. She's like, well, the child bride part is the part where she's in on the Quran thing. All right. Well, that makes sense.
It does.
Very convenient.
What do you think about Shauna Ray and whoever's her boyfriend, Annie?
Super creepy. The whole situation is...
I feel bad for her. Like, Jenny Jingles is just like, oh, no, this poor woman. It's like, yeah, I know. But that's not the point. Her boyfriend's a creep.
Possibly. But have you ever seen Shaquille O'Neal with some of his girlfriends and even his wife, I think?
Do tell.
Like, he's like 7 foot what? So everyone he dates looks tiny compared to him.
But they're adults.
So he has a chance with Shauna Ray.
but hold on, Adam. But they're adult women, though, regardless of whether they're next to him or not, right?
She's an adult. She's just small compared to most people. So
She's
maybe he
3'10"
just
with
likes
baby
feeling
teeth.
like Shaq. Maybe he likes feeling like...
Did you see what happened to Shaq this week? They covered on who are these broadcasters. But it looked like Shaq shit his pants or got really close to it. He's live on the air. They're talking about the NBA playoffs. He's doing the thing. He's just like, oh! All of a sudden he gets his face. He just gets up and starts walking. And someone else on the set's just like, we're on TV right now, right? He's like, ah. And he just starts shuffling across the set. It was very
I think one of the younger, newer players had shit their pants, so he did it so they wouldn't be embarrassed. So all the
everyone shit their pants. It's the coolest.
He was showing leadership, yeah.
Right. Ronnie in Syracuse calling in.
Hey, Carl, Ronnie in Syracuse. Love you, love the show. 2 things about Opie. He was recently saying how he's not going to get a professional setup because everybody is doing that. So is he Patrick Michael all of a sudden? If he doesn't try, he can't fail? The guy that's been doing radio since he was 18 and is proud of having attended Geneseo and worked with WCMF and all this crap, and then he doesn't even try. The other thing is I absolutely love the ending of the show where he says, I got to go by like 25,000 times. It is fantastic. I never get tired of that.
Well, you're in luck.
Don't call me back.
Yeah, we'll be hitting that momentarily. But yes, Ron in Syracuse, all of it is just so he can't be compared with actual shows. I'm not even trying.
And you know what, Ron? You know what? Most
afford that.
Yeah, most podcasts don't have the New York skyline from 55 floors above or some very expensive backdrop. In fact, it's not necessary to do a podcast.
Right.
You can do it from anywhere if you have something to say.
I remember the first time I was on Anthony Cumia's show in studio, and my mom was just like, oh my gosh, is that the view from there? I'm like, well, we are in Manhattan, but no, that's a green screen. It's not what it is at all.
Yeah, this call is for the Power Bottom who was hosting Point Dabble Point. He said, why would a mine need a welder?
Oh, it's me.
Well, Carl, you fucking retard.
Uh-huh.
If you thought about it for 4 seconds,
Okay.
what do welders do?
Weld?
What's at mines? I don't know. Metal equipment? You fucking pansy. Just kidding, but you are a fucking fag. Blind Mike's wearing off on you.
Okay.
That fucking lib. Don't even get me started on him. I was gonna fucking go off on him. What was it he said? Fuck it. Fuck you, both you fags.
All right. Well, thank you for your call, sir.
He makes a lot of good points. He does. He makes them.
And he goes, great call. Rob Johnson, $2. Thanks for the laughs. Thanks, Rob Johnson. Hopefully you're not the Rob Johnson who was the quarterback for the Bills that annoyed the hell out of me. Probably not. Probably not.
I hope it is.
Oh, this guy's excited that he heard his voicemail live on the show. He might get excited again right now.
Hey, Carl, listening while driving again. I heard the reply to my voicemail, and like honestly, Christian Butt was right on point. I keep on listening to like the live version of the show. So I suppose if I went into the Spotify feed, it would be better off. And like you're right, it is a live show. So shout outs to the great Christian Blatt, and great shows again. Also, thanks for reminding me about Buzzmeyer. Like, it's good. It's good. Vocals get a little like to get used to, but like it's good. Awesome. Bye.
All right. Thank you, sir. Buzzmeyers, Buzzmires. We have 3 EPs to check out anywhere you stream music.
The vocalist also takes getting used to.
That's an inside. That's for me and Chris. I don't understand why people act like Ed's voice is. I don't know. It's got a good voice. It's got a good rock and roll voice.
Good voice,
in my opinion. I think it's good. What do I know?
Well, that's fun for us. That's great.
Have you not checked out Buzzmeyers, Adam? What are you doing?
Weather coming up after this.
On the final day of the Chiller Fest, how much has Stuttering John discounted his 8x10 autographed pictures? If he started out at $50, on the last day, are they down to $3? $6? $2? Or is he just giving them away, abandoning his table and leaving 49 autographed pictures on the table? What do you think? Rock and rolla.
Wait for it.
Yeah, I would have been really freaked out if he didn't say that.
Well, he's not leaving anything behind.
What do you think, Adam?
I don't think he's. Unfortunately, I do know a lot about this particular topic, and I don't think he's allowed to change the price of it. You can't like charge one price one day and then make it cheaper the next day, and the people
that makes a lot of
previous day are
sense.
like, what the
Actually,
fuck?
yeah.
And
that'd be
there's a
super
certain
off.
percentage that he's splitting with the house, so he's not allowed to just make it. And I want to warn everyone who's going there: he will have a handler there. That's either one he provided, or chances are someone from the convention that will know nothing about him, but will be sitting next to him, helping out, making sure John's not stealing the money or anything's not going wrong. So keep that in mind when you approach him, that you're still welcome to have him sign anything you like and say whatever you want to him. There's no legal recourse. You're a fan. He's a celebrity. You can say anything you like and ask him to sign anything you want. And the only person that's going to get in trouble is him, because the fans are going to be fine. But when John has a negative reaction, that handler's going to be there to report back that John wasn't being attacked by goons and teamsters, that he was in fact instigating fights and told people to meet him at this booth at this time at this place to fight him.
See you after class.
At the end of a long weekend, he might be attacked by the handler.
That's who we need to have on the next WATP, whoever
Well,
that is.
That is another tease. I probably should have mentioned that also this Saturday, Michael Gavin Ali, who's going to ChillerCon, will be on to tell us all about his conversations with John Melendez. Hopefully, we'll be recording those. We'll have some
Everybody
audio to
loves
play.
him.
Everybody loves Michael Gavin Ali. He's the best. He wanted to bring friends on. He's like, Carl, can you send links to my friends too? I said, absolutely not.
That doesn't go well.
I have MGA on over protest. There's no way I'm going to have friends of his on as well. Supertip.gg/WATP. People are still coming in.
Yeah, Augie, I won't get professional because that's what everyone does. You know what nobody does? Talk about Kate Perry going to space. Cheers.
Yeah, that's a good point. His topics lately have been really... Katy Perry's in space. The Pope died. Okay. Well,
Who the man?
Yeah, well, good stuff. Thanks, Opie. I feel like we've done it all today. Some would say way too much.
I gotta go. Bye. I gotta go. I gotta go. I gotta go. I gotta go.
Okay, bye.
Yes. Thank you for tuning in. Bye. Bye.
This is it. It's over. Okay? Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Goodbye. Hey, goodbye.
Are we done here?
I think we are.
I don't know. Who gives a shit? Why am I even still doing this? I'm out of here.
Man, that was a good episode.
That was a good episode.
I enjoyed that.
Okay, bye.
Shouldn't beat us away.
All right, now we start the wrap-up show. So, Adam, what was your favorite part of today's episode?
Okay,
of
good to be here.
WATD?
Let's start all the way back from the beginning, and let's go through all of it together.